Let's be real. And let's be honest, if a couple of other sources confirm that, we're probably breaking down at this point. It just didn't happen.
No, and I believed in it, and I went short as well. So now we're caught here short and looking to get taken out here at the day's high as the Nasdaq continued. There it goes. Just broke the high there as well. So yeah, a little bit of a stop out again on the TQs as just goes right up there, and now just there it goes. Look at this extension right now continuing. So yeah, man, I was saying the short may not be the way, and that'll be the biggest loser there for me. We'll still hold on to Intel. That's still $1. It's I think this could break a little lower. Let's bid some 43s in and around where VWAP is. And yeah, we're back at 2 p.m. But for right now, thanks to everybody today. Fabian over there, Andre, Brendan, yeah, Raheem, big one. Raheem Alani, thanks for coming through today. That was always a lot of fun with him. I saw his wife and his kid in the back. That was awesome. Thanks to Dara, Obi, and Joe. Thanks, Joe, for answering some of those questions that we had before. Okay, man, enjoy the Moroccan chicken. I'm sure we will all enjoy that.
The picture looks fantastic.
Okay. Hopefully it's not Leatherface chicken again. And if it is, then I'll still probably have it anyways because I'll be hungry as
You got to get your protein.
Right
It's
there.
free
Yeah,
too,
we'll get
well,
it's definitely not free. But all right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will see you at 2 p.m. It's the Midday Show with Joe and Obi. Ciao.
Get them, boys.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? How's everyone doing? Yes. You know who it is. It's your boy Joe. Next to me is Obi. What's up? And I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Sounds like the boys are having a good one around here. Lots of good and positive trading, but much more to come. Obi, let's do a little bit of roll call, and then we will most definitely get into the action today. All right, guys, who do we have? We have 420 Bud Monster, Yummy Thai Food, Jay Walkin, Aloha says Mike P, The Rider, The Real Dangerous, what's going on, Pack 2744, Stango Mango, all right, Don Sharifo, Mr. Bones, Puerto Rico, Brown Lightning, a couple more here. We got my guy Gorev, and then we got Ronin, what's up? And who else do we got? One more, Johnny Just Be Trading. All right, I like that one. Right. That's it for the roll call here. A lot of action here today. We're going to start this one off with Obi. Obi, talk to us on what you had going on.
Oh, man. What's going on, guys? How's
Amazon,
it going? Yeah, no, Amazon. What's going on with Amazon? I tried a little bit of a short on Amazon, but that prior day break was 243. This thing's just, going, breaking highs back to back. On the weekly, this thing looks amazing. On the daily, it's absolutely solid, catching a little bit of a bid, some daily and weekly breakouts as well. But I was looking for a bit of a pullback because I was like, how many days in a row are you just going to keep on running straight to the upside? I guess today's another day. I'm definitely a little wrong on that one, but I kept it pretty tight. And I was just like, if this goes now. If it doesn't, I don't want to be involved. Chop, 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 chop. I took a decent taste of it yesterday of some of the price action, and I was just like, yeah, this is some choppiness, some fugazi. I don't know. From my perspective, I was just like, yeah, I don't really understand it. So I was just like, okay, cool. Remember that range I was playing yesterday? It came in, shorted to the bottom of the range, came back up, broke the high of the range, and then slammed right back in, and then broke that at the end of the day. I was like, all right, well, those are some games definitely for sure, but I wasn't necessarily in the mood to participate in that. But Amazon, crazy strength over the past couple of days, so got involved with that one. Quick stop out. Intel, you guys saw that. I guess Sean had it too. That was really nice. 44 halves as well. So I got in a little bit earlier, and then as it came in, really started to slam down into it. Definitely not enough. So that's what I'm realizing here, because this thing, take a look at what this thing did. 40s all the way to 44 halves on a name like Intel. I know it's breaking out. I know we're stepping up. I know we're finally done kind of consolidating between that 17 and that 20 area that we had been for the past few years. And that's a lot of, I guess, wound up energy, if you want to look at it that way. Because, yeah, when it came to chips, Intel was the only one kind of lagging behind. And I really asked the question, I was just like, why is Intel lagging behind like the way it is? Understandable, the other chips, they're making the graphics cards. Now we have people who are making RAMs that are running. But it didn't make sense because like, the RAMs are in the PC, the graphics cards are in the PC. What about the processors? I know the servers use Intel Xenons, right? So it's just like, okay, why is, just didn't make sense. Doesn't matter, doesn't have to make sense, but now it seems like Intel is on its way to catching up here. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we give it to you here live as the Nasdaq is breaking up higher, the ES not just yet. But what else did I trade here? CVX off of the open. Let's take a look at this one here. So I was just coming in and I was like, all right, third day of selling. I was hella late to this trade. Pre-market low breakdown, that's the place, 157 halves. I get involved way later underneath that 156 halves. And I'm like, I know I don't have a lot of room left to cover this trade here, but I'm gonna take a piece anyways because the momentum is definitely very, very strong to the downside. So took a piece on that, got about I guess $1 out on a fraction of those shares there. Covered a decent chunk right here, almost for break even, because I was just like, if it's gonna false break prior day's low, I don't necessarily wanna stay involved, but I think getting out a little bit and then re-engaging on the break of that 56 and scalping out for those 50 pennies, if I'm fast enough, I think that's the best way to take it, even though I know I'm late, and 57 halves was the place to punch in on on this one, just on a pre-market low breakdown. Continuation trade, I think today was day 3 as well, so I took some CVX. What else did I have? Oh, right, I had Google. Google was nice as well. So try the reversion the first time. It was a little bit difficult when the bid finally stopped working into it. You see that right here. Here, I'll make this a little bit bigger. I can see that you guys are not really seeing what I'm seeing right here, but comes in, sure, stops me out, break a high day, but guess what? A false break of high day makes it even better, so I just start pounding it in, boom, 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 chasing it all the way down, and then gets to VWAP. Sure, I should have covers at VWAP, which was in 319 flats, but I took it off at 319, just above 319 halves, because I was like, this is kind of close enough, so take a piece off of Google on that one. Eventually VWAP does come in, so I got to learn how to be a little bit more nimble, get involved with the lower highs, press back in as it just consolidates. But was that the trade I was really looking for? I don't think so. This morning I was just like, there's a lot of things going on and I want things to work right away, and if they don't, I'm more than willing to stop out. Now there's one trade that I definitely missed out on, and that, my friends, is MSTR. Let's take a look at the reversion that happened on MSTR. 100% reversion, Joe. This thing was absolutely crazy. So we know that MSCI was like, okay, you know what? We're not going to exclude them from our deletions or whatever. They were going to take him off of the MSCI, and then we had a little bit of a chop in the morning, or sorry, in the after hours yesterday, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely going to be in play here. If you took this opening range high break, 167 halves, it got you all the way up to 170s, but a little bit of a false break of 170s brings the sellers back in. And oh my God, 170 all the way back down, back through the opening range high, back through the open, back through opening range lows, and then all the way down into 160s. So almost a $12 move, because I think the lows there were 158 halves. Yeah, absolutely crazy kind of action there. So if you got involved with the reversion at any point, reason to sell here on the break of the bid, reason to sell here on the break back through opening range high, reason to sell on the break back through VWAP, reason to sell on the break back through open, reason to sell on the break back through opening range. You could have been late to this trade and still taken a piece of the move. So absolutely beautiful move there on MSTR. Lots of opportunity in this market, man. Can't catch them all, but you know what? Trying to be that Ash Ketchum.
Ooh, trying to be Ash, I see there. Obi, yeah, not too bad. All right, guys, let's get into what we were trading. I had a couple of names. I was going through my list this morning. I didn't see anything really attractive. At the top of it, for me, was Uber. Uber in the quantum space. BE came in a little bit late, and that's going to be my missed opportunity of the day. SLV had a good print as well. But that's hindsight. We're not going to be looking that way. We're going to remain forward-looking and stick to something that was going to be my primary ticker. And that's going to be Uber, once again. So you can see from a daily standpoint, we broke above, or we opened up above yesterday's close. So I was looking for some strength, but if you go back and you look at yesterday's session, you can see that the majority of the move, I want to put my crosshairs up here, the majority of the move was in the first 10, 15 minutes of the day. I'm like, oh no, because it started to play out the exact same way this morning. So I'm like, okay, starting to form a bull flag, forming a bull flag, waiting for my indecision prints to be formed for a potential bounce, and I wasn't seeing anything. And then sure enough, we break through the volume weighted average price and we head right back towards the opening price of the session. Now let's take a look at this from a 5-minute standpoint. Why did I get involved here? We'll break it down on multiple time frames. So essentially what we had going on, I'm like, oh, okay, a nice strong move, but then we started to form somewhat of an ABCD pattern. All right, this is the consolidation, but the latter half of the pattern never really came through. It was a failed setup. It broke down, but then support levels held right at opening price. We formed somewhat of a hammer, not the cleanest, but I liked what we were seeing as we started to form that consolidative base. So once we got in, we took one attempt here, and we got stopped out. No problem. We got out exactly when we were supposed to, in around 86.32s. Not the best entry, but we get out when we were exactly when we were supposed to, 86.11. And then I'm patient, that base started to form, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I like it here around 86. Post up at 86, and then I'm like, okay, we're getting that bounce. Right away, surprisingly so, I was out the money a couple of cents and only about 5 or less than 10 cents away from getting stopped out. Sure enough, it bounces, it rebounds. I'm like, okay, now we're starting to work. Let's wait for a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. At that point, I take 20% off at 86.20. I'm in at 86. I'm missing to 85.80. And then sure enough, we got a nice move to the top side. It came in aggressively as the market was tanking. I look over at my SAR chart and I'm like, oh no, the market's selling. What's this news possibly? But there was an inverse move here on Uber as it took an aggressive move to the top side. So once again, at a 2-to-1, a little bit before that, a 1.5, 1.7 to 1, I take the majority of my position off, and then I slowly start to piece it out there to the point where now I'm only currently sitting on 5% of my remaining position, and I'm okay with that. We're going to leave that for a runner and look for more opportunity. And as I'm talking about it, is this a reload chance? I think so. Am I going to? Maybe. Let's wait and see. That's a nice volume print. We can add a little bit of shares, and we can just free roll this our current position. What do I mean by free roll? I have unrealized gains right now, so I can risk those unrealized gains by adding shares to this position in hopes of breaking through this previous pivot high or even these prior resistance zones. Once that happens, then we can slowly start to piece that out. Considering I'm talking about it, let's get involved here momentarily. One thing that I want to point out here is BE. This was my missed opportunity of the day. I was watching this. Brendan brought it to us this morning as we got a nice little pop in the pre-market. And then sure enough, out of the opening drive, we sell aggressively, but then we form this aggressive 1-minute hammer candle print. And I was waiting for a pullback so I can get maybe roughly around 50% of this wick value, enter the position, risking just a little bit past that candle low, and then looking for that move higher. But instead, it decided to take off and continuously grinding. Now putting in a new high of the day is BE. That's going to be Bloom Energy. So maybe that ad right here on Uber, I'm glad that we're patient. We want to see how we react around this specific print, and it looks like we're going to break it to the downside, which we currently have. Okay, so we talked about Bloom Energy, we talked about Uber. Now let's take a look at silver. And I have in my notes here, when you see silver put in the prints that you're looking for, take it immediately, and which I did not. That's okay, because there's going to be plenty of more opportunities throughout the day. If not, that's fine. Guess what? The market's going to be open at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. But again, we have plenty of time throughout the intraday session. Silver starting to recover somewhat here today. But I just think, considering it's been in play for so long, things need to cool down, and I'm willing to allow it to do so. You can see that we're currently trading under the volume-weighted average price. What does that tell us, Obi? That sellers are essentially in control of today's session in silver right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Silver was Pretty solid last night as well in the blue ocean trading session. So I did trade some silver there. Just watching silver futures, and silver futures were kind of having a little bit of a pullback off of their highs. Let's take a look at this, man. This is the thing. I gotta maybe stay up all night. Sometimes that's what I'm thinking to really effectively trade this blue ocean session, man. Look at this thing. Where's VWAP right there? Okay, cool. No, it's futures, but take a look at this. Last night, I hopped on and I was just like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna try to get short some silver here. It instantly ripped against me, so I was like, okay, I was already down half a shutdown in like 5 minutes, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let that.
Last night?
Last night, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let that bother me. Right away on this breakout, I flip long, pretty much make it all back on this leg right here because I'm more aggressively sized because I'm like, yeah, I understand this is a bit of a reversion, but then I wait, you know, throw on some games with the boys, and I'm just watching the chart on the side here. We were playing RV There Yet. I don't know if you guys know what that game is in the chat.
I have no idea. What is RV There Yet?
So it's like a 4-player game where you know you have to kind of stack the RV with a bunch of stuff, and it's really clunky.
Like
and then
literally an RV.
An RV.
Like literally, okay,
RV,
yeah.
You hop in the car, you make sure you have all your gear and everything, and you make like pit stops along the way. And there's obstacles that you have to get by, and so like one player drives, there's winches on the both side, and then whatever. It's a lot of fun. Very very difficult to do. Anyways, so we finished the game, and I see silver all the way up here again. I'm like, that's a 50% retracement. And if you looked at silver futures, it was kind of pushing up into some prior structure. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start getting short here. So short the 73 halves, short the 73 80s, short some more back through the 73 halves. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? This is around 10 o'clock. This is around the time where I'm looking to go to bed, right? Boom. So I'm like, I cover, even though I don't want to. I'm like, the short is on. I'm like, the short is on. We've done a 50% retracement. I think the likelihood of us getting back to some of these lows is pretty high. I cover. I take my like 50, 60 pennies. I cover.
Sorry to interrupt you because it reminded me of this RV game. Because we were born the same year. Did you ever play that game? It's like a cross-country Canada in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like the truck driver. You're like the truck driver or whatever.
I'm thinking Oregon Trail.
Oh, no, Oregon Trail is different.
Trail was sick.
There's a different one. For all the individuals born in the 90s, there was like a cross-country game in Canada here that we played in elementary school, and you're like driving like a semi-truck and stuff.
I don't think I remember playing that one, but
you fill up with gas or whatever and stuff like that. It's crazy. Or Reader Rabbit. Did you ever play Reader? Everybody played. I think everybody played Reader Rabbit.
We used to have typing competitions in class for like typing speed and correction and stuff like that.
Yeah. All the right type.
In computer lab,
All the right type. Okay, so I wasn't bad at that, right? But there's this one kid who was better than me. Like, you couldn't beat him. He was so good at typing. And anyways, our teacher was giving away to the best typer. I remember this is probably my first time I tried to buy my way into something, is that I couldn't beat this kid, but we got this CD that the teacher would play all the time, and I couldn't beat him. So I'm probably in like grade 2 or 3, and I'm offering this kid money to lose to me so I can win the CD. And sure enough, no, he was a winner at heart. Yeah, so that never worked out. Sorry to interrupt you there, Obi.
No worries,
continue. We got Uber starting to come back in. It's not looking overly strong here, guys. So we're gonna look for some relative strength. We're gonna run through our scanner. I didn't have too much on my radar this morning, aside from Uber, BE, and SLV. BE and SLV relatively strong. Uber doesn't really know what it wants to do yet.
Yes, sir. So I think so we're talking about that 73. I cover 73s, and look at this drop that comes in. Of course, it's coming in on the silver futures. I get it, but guess what? I'm not trading SLV. I'm trading SLV. I'm trading silver futures through SLV, right? That 73 cracks around 11 o'clock. Boom, just straight down. And then secondary leg, 72s. This was the session low at 72s. Now, I forget what that was in reference to the silver futures themselves, but take a look at this. At 1 o'clock, we make lows. A little bit of a double bottom gives us a decent reason to buy right there, but 71s, that's about, I'm leaving about 3% on the table there by going to bed. I'm just like, you know what? Times have changed. I know sleep is very important, but now I have to kind of choose between sessions. I'm like, where do I really want my mental mental capital to really take effect? Is it in the blue ocean session that's overnight, which sometimes will have me going to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m., maybe even 4, and I got to get up, come in for at least 9 o'clock, right, to the desk and trade the open session, the intraday session, and then, you know what I mean? But eventually we're going to go 24 hours. So I have no idea how I'm going to manage some of the time there, but I think getting on some algos will definitely help.
Yes.
Manage some of that. What's up, Adara?
I have an idea, Obi. You could program an optimist to trade for you, and he could be operating off your algos. And maybe this is too Tron legacy, but hey, it could work, guys.
So to add on to that, I could get a Neuralink, which is connected to my Optimus.
Yeah.
Which is which also has this AI agent, which is basically a replica of my strategies, and then I can just trade in my sleep as well.
Oh.
Maybe that's the next. Maybe that's the next trade, becoming truly cyborg. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Easy Street, you can only do so much. That's all I'm gonna say. Right? We're talking about 5 days worth during the week. And I think weekends will still be closed. I don't know. When we go to 24-hour trading.
For your sake, I hope so.
Yeah,
So you're not up all the time, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to go truly hybrid, when the organics and the mechanics mix.
We'll be long gone by that time, my friend.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. They say that the person who's going to live to 150 years old has already been born. So, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to upload our consciousness onto the cloud and then live on forever.
I think that's the ideal
a lot of different
thing.
ways, man. There's a lot of different ways I can trade forever. So
what is it?
I'm excited.
What is it? Cryo freezing? How do you pronounce
it? Like cryo freeze.
Cryo freeze.
But what was that one Netflix show that was on this?
Did you see that one where they did it to their unfortunately passed individual?
I forget what that was.
I can't pronounce it. Cairo.
We'll be right back from Madera.
Yeah.
What's up?
Just want to let you guys know here, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt is starting her press conference. It's just the Nasdaq, so keep an eye here on the market. She's just started speaking. She's bringing up a whole bunch of cabinet officials as well. So if there's anything market related here, I will certainly keep you guys posted. Back to you.
It was kind of.
We're talking about Altered Carbon.
Yeah,
that was the show. That was
that one.
First season was sick. I don't know what they really did with their second season. Kind of fell off, but it wasn't that bad. But first season was absolutely.
It was really good. Yeah. So yeah, guys, what else do we got going on? There goes silver right back up to the top side here. So another indecision print. Volume not really. Oh yeah, volume is stepping in. Sorry guys. A nice move here, getting really aggressive. So we thought that sellers were in control. Maybe if we hold these levels around 70.64, you're going to get somewhat of a rebound. I mean, we gapped down aggressively here off of the all-time highs in which we touched yesterday, 74.71 to where we opened up here at 4 a.m. this morning to 72.42. This is where Obi was active last night right here, guys, throughout this move to the downside. So a nice look. Silver really starting to pick up his momentum to the top side. So a pretty good look there. Let's see if we can get somewhat of a rebound here in Uber. I would love to add a little bit more or even find something. And with that being said, we need to maybe head over to our scanner. We'll take a look at the top performing sectors here momentarily, but I think we got enough cooking up for us right now. A nice couple trades from Obi here this morning. Once again, I was starting off the day red on this one attempt, and then sure enough, we had the ability just holding things until we were supposed to, taking a little bit off at that 1-to-1, and then taking the bulk of it off at around a 1.7-to-1, turning us positive, and then as we piece up here, it just increased our positivity here on the day. And now I'm looking for another couple of potential setups. I mean, there's a lot going on. We're going to head over to our scanner here momentarily to see if we find anything. My guy Gaurav was talking about Robinhood, so let's pull that up. And if you guys want to see anything on the options chain as well too, feel free to tag me or Obi, and we'll go over those things without any question. And what else are you guys looking at? I know, so I was actually doing a little bit of work. I have some pretty hot picks. I heard we're doing 3 to 5, so I had to increase what I'm looking at and what I think can potentially bring us some solid returns in the year of 2026. And I'm pretty confident. I think I'm going to add CrowdStrike to mine. So, and then I'm going to go with the lottery ticket, right? And my lottery ticket is going to be Rich Tech Robotics. I think that we can, I mean, if this thing is trading around $3 or something along those lines right now, and if it goes to $6, and we're not even close to its previous all-time high, so if it goes there, that's 100% banger. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So I got JPM on my mind. I have Tesla on my mind. I have NVDA. With CrowdStrike and Rich Tech Robotics. So let's see how those picks are going to work for us. Love Rich Tech, says Jacques. Spy Option, says John P. Absolutely, momentarily. The year of Amazon and Meta. Yes, I do agree. Amazon, I'm kind of stuck between Tesla and Amazon just due to, obviously, the cloud infrastructure and the build-out. AWS, I think, is going to dominate its e-commerce division if it hasn't already. So segment if it hasn't already. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Now, guys, let's head over to our John P. We'll get to the options activity here in one moment. I'm keeping my eye on Uber, as Obi likes to say. INTC was definitely your play as it's continuing to bleed. Are you still in it?
In what? No,
INTC?
man. I literally, I was just like about to punch 43 halves.
Yeah.
Right here as it started to look like it was breaking down, and then it just slaps down to 43 30s, and I was just like, all right, well, you know, that's the trade where if you hesitate, right, like even for a second. We talk about trades that are good that go right away. That was definitely one of them. The break of this prior low just gets pushed right back into VWAP, and then the market's pulling back in here as well. I was looking at SanDisk at the same time. This thing tried to get through 350 a couple of times, and then a false break of the day high. I'm looking at this as a little bit of a consolidative day potentially. We talked about yesterday this bit of a range here, and guess what? That range actually broke out at the end of the day. I wasn't watching it, and I was like, okay, we're consolidating, very strong day, upper quartile, boom, boom, boom. Guess what? It breaks out, pulls back, holds the prior high as support, and then takes, what is this leg? About a 2 to 3% leg up into the close off of that range break, and we come right back in, and guess what? We test those prior day's highs, pull right back in into that prior day's range, and then now trading back above it. So yeah, I think maybe we find a little bit of support perhaps at 343s, which was that range high, and right now currently is confluencing with VWAP as well. You can see 343.09 on my chart is that VWAP at the same time. So yeah, that's what I'm watching for. But that flush came in real hot. So I don't know if I want to chase Intel down here just yet. Maybe we get some pops, but you can see sellers definitely in charge. And yeah, ultimately I want to be looking for VWAP and then some, because this was an aggressive move. Take a look at this. Intel doesn't normally do crazy amounts of relative volume, but today, as the bid started stepping up, as we started extending to the upside, we started doing 1 times, 2 times, almost 3 times our vol at the highs. Actually, we got there at about 10:30. That was the highest point of the day, and then we start to kind of base off here, 3.7s, 3.17s, 3.10s, and then now pulling back in below 2 times, into 2 times our vol, 2.9s I have right now. So interesting move on that relative volume. The volume has dropped off as well, and we're pulling back in. So yeah, I should have definitely stayed involved with this short, especially with the market tailwind. The market tailwind definitely gives a strong factor of confluence when you're trading a name that is somewhat beta related. I don't know, Intel kind of does its own thing, but I still think it has a little bit of a beta. Let's take a look at what it is specifically here. Let me just quickly pull that up. SIDU, funny enough, is the first choice that FinViz gives you when you look up when you look up the website. Okay, so 1.38 I have here as the beta on Intel. So speaking of SIDU, let's see what SIDU is up to here on the day today. Did we pass 5 just yet? No, not yet. Still kind of consolidating on top of 5. So interesting stuff here on SIDU. Let me know what you guys are up to, what you guys are trading. I'm more than willing to take a look at that. Where is the next trade? That's what I'm asking. Another stock that was, you know, a little, the bid was sticking to the upside on this one all morning long. and that's glue. And I saw this one and I was just like, okay, well, 18s all the way to 24s coming into the day. What do we do here? Maybe a little bit of a range here. Look at that. Let me just draw what I saw in the pre-market highs right there, and then maybe range lows in and around here. And guess what? We've been kind of trading inside of this zone. If you took this breakdown, that was a little bit of a false break, and then the push to the highs has not, well, it didn't really come in, maybe not yet, but kind of sideways chop here on glue, Monte Rosa Therapeutics Inc. And I think it was their primary trial that had some good results. Let me just make sure that's what it was. Right here, over 50%. Highest close since 1 hour ago. Okay, yeah, phase one. Yeah, phase one. Okay, some stuff had favorable results, favorable safety, showed rapid, deep, and sustained reductions in this protein and this protein in phase one. Strong biomarker, whatever. They had a successful phase one result, so it was up over 50% on that, doing some decent relative volume and selling off into the open, and then kind of holding its own here as well. So don't forget, it's phase one, so it's pretty early on in its trials. So might hold the bid more than something that's gained results in, say, like a phase 3 or maybe phase 4 as well. So what's up, Adara?
Anywhere, guys, in addition to this press briefing we have right now with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and a host of cabinet officials, we also have Marco Rubio, who is, of course, the Secretary of State. He's discussing both Venezuela and the Greenland-Denmark situation. So keep an eye on CRML with regards to Greenland. I've seen this stock kind of been connected to these moves, but also keep an eye, of course, with Venezuela on these oil plays, including CVX. Thank you, Trump. I want to mention here quickly, though, with CRML and the Greenland situation, we do have Marco Rubio saying they're going to be meeting on Greenland next week with Denmark. So CRML pushing up a little higher here on this as we send you back over to Obi and Joe. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, because we're so happy to be here with you every day.
Yeah, most definitely hit that like and subscribe, guys. We're hitting some pretty big milestones here, so if you're watching us, it's nothing to click the button. We show exactly what we got going on, and we tell you if we're red or green, so as transparent as possible. So we just ask you a small favor, just to hit that like and subscribe to see if we can get that beautiful milestone that we are looking for as a collective unit. It helps the channel as well to continue to grow. So what I'm looking at, it doesn't cost you anything. See, look what it says. Subscribe. Congrats on being broke. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Like, if you want to change right now, hey man, it is. Call it as we see it. But it's okay. Obi, it's right there on the screen, so you may as well just hit that button, and then who knows? This message. Fortune may change. All right, guys, what else do we got going on here? We had a couple options change questions. John P., I forget yours, but an individual asked D-Dog just going and going. Okay, we're going to pull that out. SMR breaking out. We got a lot going on right now. It's going to be an action-packed day. SMR looking pretty good here. Uber starting to slowly grind a little bit higher. We like that. I need more shares on this position, so maybe now is the time to add it, but I just want to be a little bit more patient just in case we do get a breakdown. But let's get over to what you guys are looking at, and this is what we do. So someone was asking why the spread here on the Qs is so wide. I mean, it depends where you're looking. Right now, I'm only seeing $1 here. You go over to $4. The more in the money you get, the wider it gets. The more out of the money, the tighter it gets. And we were talking a little bit about this morning, is that how you get those big time returns, I mean, like 1,000% in your options contract, is when you're usually typically buying these extremely out of the money contracts. These are lottery tickets, right? Like 0 day. And Obi, if we're fortunate enough to get them here in the Qs in the SPY, every day, just for giggles, I'm going to be buying like a $5 contract that expires the same day, obviously, because that's the most we can lose on that. And then at the end of the day, regardless if it expires worthless or it goes to $25 or something along those lines, that's a nice return ROI within an intraday standpoint. So I'm already game planning and prepared for when those contracts and if they do come into play, and I'm looking forward to that. So there's the Qs. As you go further in the money, the wider the spread is going to get. So you can see at 616, you're looking at over $20, like around $20 right there, guys, right? But then the higher you get here at the money and out of the money, you can see that it really starts to tighten up, all right? That's liquidity as well, too. So you can see how illiquid these are. So the less liquidity, the wider the spread, okay? And then John, you were asking me about something. Sorry, I can't scroll up that far, so if you want me to go over it, you're going to be a priority. It's like the angel side of my shoulder when I place a trade. Oh, okay, I appreciate that, JC Chill. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but SLV, OB, putting almost a new intraday high in. We're tapping into $71, and we have Bloom Energy doing the exact same thing. So a lot going on there. Uber, not doing too much. Sideways consolidation. We're going to pull these charts right back up. Why? Because yesterday's session was extremely identical. So you have the volatility within the opening drive, the first hour or so, but then after that, you don't really do too much. Or am I going to eat those words relatively quickly? I mean, here it is. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, 83 to 85. I shouldn't say that's not too much, but you can see that the bulk of the move was done in the first 20 minutes of the session, first hour literally, I guess there, guys. Then you get that pullback and then you don't even breach that high, even in the post market. So that's what I got going on. What would I recommend on TSM? Let's take a look at TSM Taiwan Semi here and see what we got going on. And we'll head over to the daily so we can take a look at that. I mean, you're around the highs. For me, like, I get it. Buying this previous pivot, not a horrible strategy, but for me, I would be a little bit more patient. Your levels will get hit. It's just a matter of time, right? Some things, the one thing about the market is that your plan can be 100% right, but the timing is off. Things take significantly longer than what you're expecting, or they happen really, really quick, right? You have both ends of the spectrum, but Katina Man said it perfectly. It's a long game, and you have to be really patient and wait for things to work out. That's where the larger returns, I find, come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, patience is one of the names of the game here. You know, I guess I wasn't patient enough with some of these shorts here, but getting involved with a bit of softy as the market kind of slows down a little bit here. Let's see if this starts to work out. Sellers have been kind of here since about 489 halves. We'll be right back from Madeira with crypto.
Let's talk here about MSCR to start our crypto segment. Oh, we talked about the stock move on this one, doing a massive reversion and then attempting to do a reversion of the reversion. But this move happened because MSCI reversed its possible stance here on these crypto treasuries, or digital asset treasuries. DATs is what they're calling it. Basically, MSCI was considering removing these items or removing these stocks that fall into this category from their indices. MSCR, as a very well-known Bitcoin treasury strategy, could have been impacted. They were set to make this decision by January 15th, but coming out about a week earlier saying that, well, they still could be looking more into this. They still want to find more information right now. They don't have enough info, really, I guess, to get rid of these names. So for the time being, MSCR and other crypto asset treasuries do remain here, at least possible for conclusion here in these MSCI indices. So again, MSCR not being removed from MSCI indices. Nice move for that stock. Let's talk here about Bitcoin running into some resistance here at 95,000. Hit this area about a month ago now on December 9th, hitting it again, coming back here on Monday and today, giving back all of that Monday and Tuesday move. Let's see what happens here if we're able to find some support at that previous level of resistance around 95s. Right now, we're around 90,500 rather. Right now, we're around 91,200, so about 600 points away here, 700 points away from that level of support and resistance. Let's see if we bounce. Back to you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Gorb saying, hey, Joe, did I see what was going on in AAPL? No, I did not, but we can pull that up right now. To be honest with you, what I see in some of these tech names, I'm just kind of avoiding them from the intraday trading. You can see that I've been trading Uber yesterday. We can go back and see. My only trade was on Apple on Monday, and then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Like, throughout the break that I had, I'm like, I don't even want to really look at some of these tech names right now. I just don't feel like they're in play. iBit was our most traded in SMR, right? So those were our Tuesday plays. And then as for Monday, what was I trading on Monday? Boeing, silver, and I took one trade on Apple, but then I traded the TQs as well. So the basket of the stocks, I'm just trying to avoid them. I find that if I'm looking for something, I see a high quality setup, it doesn't matter what the name is, and Obi says the same thing. It doesn't matter what the name or the price is on the side. We can eliminate whatever's on this axis here and just look at whatever the price action is telling, and this is irrelevant as well too. Uber, like it doesn't matter, especially from an intraday perspective. So that's just kind of where I'm standing at right now. It's working really, really well. And my first trade this morning wasn't until around 10:14, and I was going back on my other days, and I'm like, hey, when did I really start to engage in the market? And my earliest trade was sitting around 9:50, Obi. Okay. So waiting that 20 minutes has been working relatively well for us. I mean, you get those momentum plays right out of the gate, but I would rather just be patient and wait for some higher quality setups. There's going to be plenty of them throughout the day. And we were talking about this yesterday. I forget what you were mentioning it on, but you're like, hey, the one swing trade I think you were kind of telling me about, how there's not that much volume, so not so many participants.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really,
That's why I don't even like to talk about those specific names. I'll tell my friends and stuff, but it's just like there's stuff that's happening in low volume places where the technicals are there.
A lot less fugaze, a lot less bamboozlement, and I like that. And that's what I was telling you, that's what I like about Blue Ocean. And I found the same thing in silver. Even though the volume has been increasing in silver, it's just a lot less kind of that tomfoolery that we talk about, mixing things up and the liquidity grabs and just so many participants involved that it makes things a little bit more difficult. So the cooler the stock sometimes, the better it can trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. But even in Blue Ocean, man, it's starting to get more competitive. But at the end of the day, we're trading Nasdaq. We're trading Nasdaq and SPY tickers. So it's just like if you're able to trade those, maybe it does get more competitive in the forex markets. But yeah,
Did you ever trade forex?
No, I've never.
Yeah, I have no. I don't even understand
Forex,
it, to be honest.
And I don't know anybody who is consistently profitable in that market as well, only trading that specific market. But I don't know. There's a lot of different players out there, and I don't know their playbooks. But I personally don't know anyone. Most of the people I know, they trade. They either trade just straight up stocks, with maybe a little dabble in the futures every now and then, and maybe some commodities here and there as well. So it's a nice kind of mix of everything. So that's kind of what I know in terms of other traders. And you guys already know I like to trade stocks mainly. Right. If I want to get involved with futures, I'll find something that like an ETF, like a SPY or like a TQ to get involved, or like an SLV or something like that, or a GLD, GDX or whatever. Related assets. I do think that those markets are a lot more efficient when it comes to forex and even futures. It's just it's a game I don't fully understand, I would say, and even this game here, I'm still learning every single day, still trying to understand to the best of my abilities as the landscape is ever changing, right? Forever. So it's just like, there's sometimes it's just stuff that I don't understand, and maybe it's just a skill issue, right? Someone who's very profitable and consistent in forex can just tell me to my face that it's just straight up a skill issue, and I'll totally accept that, right? That's out of my range of abilities. So definitely have to get good.
Did you say it's out of your range of your abilities?
In terms of forex and like,
but I mean, if you were to be like, hey, give me a couple of months, let me see if I can figure this game out. There's no doubt in my mind that you'd have the ability to kind of understand the the fundamentals of what's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I think that some of those trades in in forex and futures, they don't show up very often. So therefore, it's just like, how can you really learn from something that maybe shows up a few times a year, right? Whereas, say, inefficiencies in the stock market, you can see them almost every day, right? Especially if you're playing on in-play stocks, right? I think there's a big difference in that as well. Even for swing as well, like there are some in-play stocks that will make your game so different. For example, I'll give you an example. You can kind of sit on something like an NVIDIA or a Tesla or maybe a mid cap, large cap. But guess what? You know what the best one most recently has been is SIDU. SIDU. This one is definitely very much in play. And you go to the daily chart here, right here. Take a look at this. When it started to go, it gave you lots of time even if you got in late, it gave you 170% in 13 days. Tell me where you're going to find that on large caps. Please show me. Because it's not there.
You're not going to.
Right? So this is what I mean when I say the stocks themselves are definitely a lot more inefficient with giving people a more opportunity to really exercise their abilities, right? You just got to figure that out for yourself, because at the end of the day, trading is a very lonely game. And even though you can be part of pods and part of a floor, part of a firm as well to kind of up your odds and up your edge, still at the end of the day you have to trade your own book, and that's what makes it difficult. So
absolutely. All right, guys, we added a little bit here into Uber. My surgeon is actually calling me right now, which is crazy. I have to call him back a little bit later.
You want to pick that up?
No, I'll call him back around. We're almost at that noon hour, so just considering next Wednesday is when the deed's being done, man. Yeah. So I'm not really looking forward to it, but we'll go through what we have to in order to get back to, of course, 100%. But so yeah, there it is, guys. I added a little bit to this Uber position. Currently, 100% of what I have a little bit more. Why? Because look at the volume really start to kick in on the 5-minute time frame, heading towards a key resistance zone. I like that volume, and if you go down to the lower increments here, you can see that it's starting to be sustained. So maybe we can get a move back into the volume-weighted average price. I could start piecing a little bit out now, but with that being said, my initial entry was $86. But now, considering I added up here, it moved up to 86.31. So maybe we wait to 60s to take a little bit off here on Uber. Yeah, thank you, Chris Arthur. I appreciate that. It goes a long way. So yeah, I mean, here it is. Let's get prepared to take a little. There it is. Bang, Obi. We hit 60s there. Let's see if we can get it on the bid. Sorry, we're gonna remove a little bit. What do I got here? Yeah, we'll go there. We'll take off what I had on before. We're going to post up at 60s to see if we can get that fill on the bid. I think one more strong push to the top side will have the ability to catch that fill. And let's see what we got going on. One more clean flush. Keep your eyes on the tape, guys. You can see earlier here, not too long ago, we were pushing 60s on the ask. Didn't quite get to it on the bid. But now we're starting to get a little bit of a move down. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. So 86.60s is going to be our next out here. We'll move half of our remaining position at that specific zone, and we like that. I'm still looking to put on some more trades with a little bit more size. I was at a half risk on each individual one, considering I like to give around 10 cents worth because I know it's just easy to calculate, and it gives me good entries as well. This one we had to give it 20 cents, so not as much shares, but still working out relatively well for us. We're going to try to put on some absolute solid trades here today. And it came in the latter half of the session, right? Well, the midday, I should say. I didn't go full size until that last IBIT trade, in which we were fortunate enough to take into the close. And I mocked that one. That worked pretty good. I only had a couple of percentage points left on that position, but I marked it on close, so that position was locked in and giving me that final closing print. But let's go, Uber. Don't pull back too aggressively now. Let's see if we can catch that 86.60 fill. We're starting to get some bids here, though. You can see it starting to slowly step down here, which isn't the best signal. And you get some wild fills. I think these people are punching market, right? Like we're trading at 56. You're catching the lower end, and you're getting filled at 45. That's horrible. So yeah, posting up can definitely be a way to go. TQs, Obi, right to a high of the day.
A little bit of a pullback up on the TQs here. That softy's pulling back up as well. I'm just gonna let that one kind of chill. We'll see how far that can bid. If the Nasdaq is pushing up and the ES is pushing up, let's see. Probably the likelihood of breaking that high does increase with every single bid up. And the chat keeps on talking about SMX, and this is what I'm talking about right here. This today is very much a stock in play. Now, of course, I didn't get involved. That's on me, right? But take a look at this. From the open to right now, 97%. to the highs. Take a look at this step up. Kind of pushes up, pulls back, VWAP hold, break right there. Pushes up, pull back, VWAP hold, pulls up, break. Pushes up, pulls back, didn't really get to VWAP this time, but holding that 32 and stair-stepping to the upside here. So yeah, if you have structured playbooks, you don't necessarily have to just be like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna get long and just hold this. Of course, that's going to be a difficult thing to do. But if you were to take every single breakout of prior highs and just scalp that out, that gave you $2 every time. This time it gave you 25s to 30s. This time it gave you 31s to 35s. Right? Just taking pieces off along the way. You don't have to take the whole 100% move. But every time, if you structure the price action and be like, okay, this is what it's doing. Maybe you miss it the first time. Maybe you miss it the second time. Guess what? You got to take it the third time, right? If that's the behavior that it's doing, just take it for, like, if you're just taking it for the scalp. Now that's just an idea that I'm saying, but you could say it the other way as well. There's so many different ways to attack this stock on the day. Every time it pulls to VWAP, it holds. Every time it pulls to VWAP, it holds. Do you take it on the third time it pulls to VWAP and maybe risk down to a break of this prior high? I don't know. There's just things that you have to think about. Now, of course, it's starting to get a little extended here. We are pushing, look at the volume on each and every break as well, right? This break, sure, this one didn't work, so maybe you stop out. You're not going to win on every single one, but guess what? If you're getting involved and staying involved in stocks in play, you're probably going to come out on top over time. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But great shout out on that SMX. Pulling some crazy moves here. Unfortunately, I was not necessarily involved. We have a bit of a super chat from G-Talk here. Please cover Netflix for me and Cousin Derek. I don't know who Cousin Derek is, but
him and Cousin Derek. So shout out
for me and Cousin Derek.
So shout out Cousin Derek.
Yeah, let's go to Netflix here and take a look at this one. Okay, wow, look at that. Something, is that news or something?
Yeah,
it seems
man,
like something's happening here. If Netflix, maybe WBD is moving around as well. Nope, it's not. I think WBD has had some news this morning saying that, yeah, they're not going to take Pesky's offer. That's PSKY. Yes, Derek.
I'm not seeing a darn thing since that pesky news. It may be like kind of technical if you kind of look at it. That's how I would view this, as a bit of a technical breakout, but I don't have any news on it as of right now.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Yeah, so some increasing volume, this reversion coming in as well, a bit of a curl happening. Yeah, is it doing relative volume? That's the next question I'm going to ask. Not really here, but just taking a look at a simple trend break. You can see that it popped in the morning. You don't have to get involved. And you can see here, trend break, you still don't have to get involved as it kind of breaks that low. Maybe you do get involved, get stopped out. But you can see here, starts to go sideways and then breaks this prior level here, which might be of significance because this is where it attempted to break. Maybe got some longs in. That's not what I'm looking for here. Let's go to the horizontal rate. So right here, boom. So take a look at that. Breaks the trend, maybe some structure formation after the trend break. Slow, it's not really doing anything, and then boom. That's the spot right there. You can see it confirm with increasing volume at the bottom of the chart, and it takes you all the way up to VWAP. So if you're taking this, maybe, you know what, measure this out. If you're being real here, let's measure this out. Long position from here. Maybe you're being very conservative and you're gonna risk to the low, and then you're just only gonna take it into VWAP. It's a negative RR trade. Sure, but what's the EV on this? What's the probability on this? That's the next question I'm going to ask here as well, right? So let's see, what does that tell us here? Actually, no, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. Is it negative to VWAP? Let's make sure. Yeah, it's a 1-to-1. It's almost a 1-to-1 to VWAP, 1.5 to 1. But guess what? If I'm expecting this to go right away on this break and I see expanding volume on that, I'm probably not even risking to that low. I'm risking to where that volume probably started to come in. And if you kind of do that, just taking it into VWAP, that's almost a 3-to-1, right? So again, the way you look at some of these things and the way you understand some of this price volume analysis will make a difference in terms of the RR. But when I'm really trading, I'm not necessarily looking at RR. I'm just like, is this an appropriate place to risk? Am I with the momentum? Am I with the flow? And then let's just take it until it gives me a reason to sell. right? At the end of the day, if I spend too much time thinking about all of those things, I'm not in the trade to begin with, right? So it's just like, okay, let me just go with the flow here. That's how I like to think. Now, again, there's 100 different ways to kind of, skin the price action. So that's one of the ways that I would be looking at that. CRML, let's see how Caramel's doing here. Who was that in the chat that pointed that out? Real quick. That's Michael R. Let's take a look. Oh, that is some sweet action here on Caramel. Look at this. Leg up, leg down, and then boom, right through VWAP. Similar kind of thing. Look, Netflix, we're talking about Netflix, right? This one is actually doing relative volume. This one has 4 times relative volume, pushes up, comes back in. I'm gonna show you the same pattern here. It's a little different, but break of trend. Doesn't really do much, doesn't really get you anywhere, clips off the lows, right? And then you form some structure. Where is that structure, you may ask? Horizontal, let's go. Maybe some structure here, but really kind of a pull into VWAP pulls you back in, and then that's the high you're looking at. Expanding volume through that push takes you through into and through high at A. So very similar kind of action here as well. I'm doing this right here live with you guys. So let's measure the long right here, just off of this structure break, right? Right there, boom. If you're going to the lows, maybe, I don't know if I want to do that, but fine. But we're gonna keep on going until you find a reason to sell. And we can say first red candle is a reason to sell. So the close of that first red candle happens right there. And that right there is giving you a 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio, right? If you want to be like this should go right away, maybe you're risking to this structure low right there, and that changes it to 3 to 1, right? If you're going to be like, okay, from where the volume comes in, and that's in and around here, right? This candle right here, yeah, is that where the volume is coming in? No, the volume's coming in a little bit later. Volume starts to expand in and around here. Yeah, if you're going to risk to there, it becomes a 6 to 1, right? So there's a lot of opportunity, again, in stocks that are in play. And how can you tell that they're in play? Some of them might be doing some relative volume at the same time. So good look there on CRML. A little bit of a pullback happening right now as a back through opening range highs here. Joe.
Look at Uber go. I have nothing left, though. Man, Uber is going nuts right now. I still have a little bit here, guys. 87.24 on Uber. The reload, I was just writing down in my notes. We could have got in a little bit better. I was talking about it not too long ago. But that volume really starting to kick in here on Uber. Crowd is going, a crowd strike. Yeah, Commodity Kings, thanks for pointing that out. Man, we need to get these picks in. Every day that goes by and I'm watching these things continue to climb higher, I'm like, oh, that's just a couple of percentage points off of the picks here. So here it is, man. A nice move in Uber, going from negative to positive. A biggie line there, Adair. I don't know if you caught that one up there, but Uber now 2% here on the intraday session. I only have 1 out left, full disclosure, so I don't have much. Can I hold this for the high of the day? I was thinking about mocking this, but I believe it's too early, and considering it wouldn't even really matter. It wouldn't do any damage if I held it and then it came back against me a little bit here, but considering we take this one trade here. This is just a continuation of this initial trade right here. So we get that move up, consolidates, doesn't do too much, just living in that NYSE world. And then sure enough, at 86.50, we add into the volume strength, and then we get this massive spike higher. But the selling pressure volume starting to really pick up here and amp up there, guys. But nonetheless, a nice move to the top side here in Uber. A nice little look. We're having some fun with that one, starting to come in aggressively. Do I take my last little bit out? I could. I mean, but I would like a nice little retest of the high. Nothing wrong with that. I would get all out of this trade with no issues whatsoever. So we'll leave this for a runner. If it comes back into my break even, then so be it. It's not going to do any damage or anything like that. Just a little bit of unrealized gains. But the free roll worked out relatively well for us here on Uber, U-B-E-R, guys, on the NYSE, up 1.75%. MF Dangerous says he traded like crazy today. I think I'm done. Tiny Green, lunch, money. All right, fair enough, man. As long as you can put some food in your stomach, then why not? Just relax a little bit. So Warner Brothers holder Penwater says board made error in failing to engage on revised bid. All right, so that coming in. I seen Warner Brothers rejecting as well too, so a couple people bringing that to us. I'm sure Adair will find something here momentarily. In the meantime, let's take a look at Netflix and see what it's up to, guys. Bloom Energy putting in a nice little indecision print. Again, we're hovering around those highs. I'm not in love with it, but hey, a setup is a setup, and sometimes you just have to take it. The Qs are just continuously grinding higher. It's insane. Some days when you're thinking short, it's like, no, we have other plans, and we're just going to go oppo right here. So, yeah, not too bad of a look whatsoever as the market continues to climb a little bit higher. Let's head over to Netflix here, guys. We'll get off of Bloom Energy for the moment and see what we got going on the flakes. Okay, continuing to climb higher. It's kind of doing what it did in yesterday's session as well, too. So a strong recovery. It's honestly identical. Let's head over to the 5-minute. As soon as this loads, we'll be able to take a look. So the first bit, you just boom, aggressive sell-off, and then sure enough, you start to recover, holding those levels around 89.90, and then you get a nice bounce into the close, and it looks identical to what we got going on here today. So a nice recovery here, a curled over, forming that base, and then sure enough, we are now currently trading north of the volume-weighted average price, so a pretty good look there in NFLX. Let's see who else is involved in that, guys. Put it in the chat. Let's get you guys engaged as well, too. We did this yesterday. You know what time it is. Put those colors in. Let's see how your session's going, regardless of what you got going on, red or green. What did you said teal yesterday. Obi was teal. So let's see if he's going to repeat on the teal. SLV putting in a new high of the day as well, guys. So a good look. Q's high of the day. Horrible. Put those colors in. Are you red? Greenly big, said Showtime. But nonetheless, guys, put it in the chat. Let's see what you guys are up to. See how your session's going. But right now, it's time for Adara. And then you know, the much favorite Neil's lesson of the day. All right, give me a second. I got to make a...
Take a look at this market. I mean, this market is certainly to the upside. Nice look here for the S&P 500, just continuing to make new intraday highs. We've made new intraday highs for the last two 15-minute candles. In fact, also the one that we currently are in. So great look there for this market. I do want to mention as well here, we have that press briefing here with the U.S. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. That's still going on right now. She's being asked about Venezuela after they provided a quick update here on the new nutrition guidelines. But I want to get back to this market, specifically NVDA, because there was a bit of a move here on NVIDIA. The information reporting here that NVIDIA, apparently these H200 chips, they want to be sent to China. China is basically advising these companies not to order these chips. Now, again, I do want to put out here that this was derided as a rumor by a lot of sources on X. The information does not have the best track record story when it comes to breaking news, but either way here, NVDA moving around, that's what that drop was here. Again, the information reporting that apparently China is coming out here and advising their companies not to order NVIDIA H200 chips. I want to talk here about CES because CES is happening right now. This schedule is a bit hard to read here on the screen, but if you go on X at TTV Research, you will be able to see the whole thing. This is part one of 3 parts here for today's schedule, covering 12 p.m. to almost 3 p.m. today. So I bring this up now because, again, these presentations are starting now, including a keynote here from Caterpillar. As you can see, CAT just wicked all the way up to 611s. I'll be keeping an eye on this if there's any headlines, but Caterpillar trying to crawl towards VWAP here as its keynote begins. Back over to Neil, who's going to give us the lesson of the day. But before that lesson, we have to give you a lesson here on concussions. Thank you to Orogenics, OGEN, for sponsoring this portion of the program. Concussions, demand, fast solutions, and NYSE-listed Orogenics, or OGEN, is developing one designed to reach the brain quickly and in a non-invasive way. You can learn more by scheduling a meeting today, but you can learn also more just right now because Neil has a lesson. Neil, lesson.
Gotta get one pun out of the way first. Thanks, Adara. I mean, Caterpillar, it's a hungry stock for sure. What's hilarious is for some reason the other day at the dinner table, my wife and I came across a list of like the 100 greatest children's books of all time. And then we were going through like, what are the ones that we haven't read? And it was interesting because then found someone we'd pick up. And The Hungry Caterpillar made the list, but that's not the lesson. I mean, I just heard Joe say from negative to positive. This lesson of the day is brought to you by Biggie. Because the second I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, I'm switching up the script. I'm gonna talk about something different. Because it happened on Palantir, because it's a theme of why I was in Bitcoin very often today, but positive to negative or negative to positive, in sometimes it's more than just a really uplifting thing when it happens to you, or in the context that Biggie had it, you know, going from rags to riches, that kind of a deal. But what you can look at is where did the stock close before and where was it trouble? Like look at Palantir for an example. Triple top at just about 180, closed at 179.7. So So the very first thing it does, this is the open. At the open, it basically wicks that prior close. You can't do it. But what happens when it goes from negative to positive? That particular price, the buyers, you can say, okay, fine, maybe you take that breakout, but then it's like, oh no, but it goes red again, holds VWAP. This is the point where now it's holding above that green, and it breaks this trend, and then look at it explode. There are moments where a stock can be coiling up and is waiting for it to get through something. But there's something a little bit more exciting when it's not just yesterday's high or like a resistance level, it's also like a red to green. As well. You will often see that be a little bit of a catapult if you can ever find it. It's not that you can always find it. I'll give you another example here with NVIDIA. NVIDIA was different to a certain extent because it happened almost right away. It was almost the reverse. Instead of playing off the pre-market highs or the prior day highs, NVIDIA, which closed right here, oh, sorry, actually a little bit lower, 187 quarters. So it closed near the bottom, and then you have the low just underneath 187. So its first move was to reject said low and then immediately hold the red to green. Like it completely rejected going red with a bottom wick candle. Like that's actually more explosive in a lot of ways here because it doesn't even try to hold red. It's instantly saying, no, we're not gonna be red. Then it's all green consolidations. Then it's just your stair step into the upside. But there's two sides to this coin. I said this before. It is okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. I almost messed up my own saying. If you are compelled to look short, then why not look at something which, while the market's been green, has not been able to hold green. So Bitcoin closed at, well, okay, fine. IBIT at the market close is how I should frame this because it's a 24-hour market. About 52.5 or just underneath it. When it can't go green, then I just want to be involved the other direction if I can. The market has been trending up and this has been trending down. And you know what? Take some hits along the way, then you get a big one, take a hit, then you find the short, and I'll probably try it again here as we come back in. But when it can't go green, maybe you want to fade it. When NVIDIA couldn't hold red, maybe you want to go long it. There's something about that trade that I know it's not just the fact that it's support and resistance. It also has to do with, and you hear traders say this all the time, the close matters more than the open. The closing price, as long as I've been a trader, as long as I've understood markets, has always mattered more than the open. So a lot of times when we pick a direction or the market finds a direction away from that price, it's better than your average support and resistance. So, maybe clue in on some of those close prices. They can give you entries off the open. They can give you trends away from it like it did here in IBIT. But yeah, from negative to positive can be explosive, that is for sure, as we have breaking news. I just saw there in Cat and NVIDIA. Caterpillar teams with NVIDIA to revolutionize heavy industry in physical, AI, and robotics. I, for one, am happy because when your biggest non-tech holdings are Caterpillar and Eli Lilly, it's probably a good day. It's been a lot of good days. That was the lesson of the day. Oh, this Moroccan chicken, first of all, this is not what it looked like in the picture when I Googled it. And it actually looks dry. I haven't had it yet, but it looks like dry chicken again. So I haven't eaten it, but I'm giving it like a tentative expectation of a C+.
Pre-grade that, man. That's crazy. Expectation, though. All right, there you go. We'll see what we got going on. I don't know, man. We're going to have to figure something out here because I'm going to classify it. My picks, I'm documenting those since from the first day of the year, first trading session of the year. I don't know what these guys are doing because CrowdStrike is absolutely on fire right now. Trading from $460 up to $483 and continuing to climb a little bit higher. CrowdStrike was on my mind. I talked about it quite some time ago. And I was prepared to put that as one of my picks here. It's a little bit chilly in here, so I just got this to warm myself up. But there's Uber. I was talking about waiting for that pullback here. Excuse me. And now I want to find something else to trade. I mean, I have nothing left in shares on this. We're still sitting in this trade. But I'm looking for some other solid opportunities and what we can potentially capture. SMR just coming off of the highs, $20. We were talking about it on the options chain. Do they not have heat in Canada? Says I don't know what's going on, man. No one really messes with a thermostat. That's when it's hot in here, you'll know, because Sharif will be like, oh, it's way too hot, and have to turn things down. But for me, I feel like mans are just not hot at all the time.
Mans are not hot.
Ever.
Mans are not hot.
Aside from, I mean, comp. Okay, what is this? Compass Inc. Nice 5-minute indecision print. I'll probably have to order shorts for that one, so it'll probably be a little bit too late by the time I get involved. Just running through the scans here once again, guys. Looking to get involved in a couple more names. If you see anything, what is random scenes? I mean, hey, brother, it's the igloos get cold around these neck of the woods, so you don't want to. We don't want to. Melt those. Otherwise, we don't really have a place to live there, brother. So you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go through some of these names. Baito. This is a dividend play. I know some people were talking about this. Somebody who used to be, or still is, has his own floor now, I believe, was heavily involved in Baito, I should say. Obi, you know who that individual is. PLTR. Wow, Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir is going right now.
I was saying, Baito though. I was talking about Yen.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about his Baito position.
That was a long time ago, a couple summers ago now, which is crazy to think.
I know he's big on uranium for
is
sure.
He? Yeah, that's a good play. Joe needs to stop playing. Baito. What do you call it? Bido? Who cares, man?
Baito.
Be nimble. Look, your name is
motto.
Jack Be Nimble, so you be nimble a little bit there, brother. All right, only playing around. MSTR, guys. Nice little indecision print off of these lows. I was trading BM&R for a little bit, like I shouldn't say a little bit, a couple of times, and I'm like, I can't even do anything with this thing. It was just not a clean trader. So I'm just gonna continuously run through. I'm waiting for you guys. All right, there you go. Only playing with you, brother. You know that. But yeah, that's what I got. I'm only in Uber right now, and I'm probably gonna exit here momentarily. And I'm looking across the board. Obi, is there anything that you have your eyes on, guys? I need you to start picking some things out. We only have 2 sets of eyes here, 4 eyeballs to be exact. So in 300, as the guy once said, the Lord was blessed to give him a spare or something along those lines. Remember when the guy who lost his eye? Yeah. The Lord was kind enough to bless him with a spare. And you guys are, I don't know, the spare eyes. So we need to see what we got going on here. I can't find anything right now, so I'm going to wait for some of your guys' call-outs for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting, watching this. This Microsoft doesn't look so great right now. So it's one of those times where I'm just like, do I really let it stop me out here, or do I just get out now and
Where's your stop?
Reassess later? I don't like to talk about where my stops are, but we can.
What do you mean? That's like I think that's a standard thing. It's like, okay, this is my entry. This is where I'm wrong.
I don't want to get hunted.
Get out. Okay. So you think that? All right.
It's not like I have.
Okay, so you're not superstitious. You're just stitious.
This is a little stitious.
All right, there you go.
A little stitious.
All right.
But I hear on CVX here, we do have White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt talking Venezuela, saying that the U.S. is, quote, selectively rolling back Venezuela sanctions. She also just mentioned the Greenland situation, so CRML is going to be on watch. As we kind of expected, this first White House press briefing since the new year, since the new year has begun. So first press briefing of 2026, a lot of market-related news here, again, including Venezuela and this Greenland situation with CRML and other rare metals or rare materials plays here on watch. Make sure to like and subscribe as we go back to Joby.
Sounds good. All right, so yeah, I'm curious to know, but we'll have to figure that out. And there goes Uber, new high of the day, up 2% on the intraday session, guys, heading right towards this previous pivot high. Let's head over to the 5-minute time frame. I think at this pace, by the end of the day, we'll come out here and test. Okay. I thought something in my ear went. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I'm like, oh, what the? I didn't have anything out there, but no, it said bulletin receive. I have no idea what that's for. PX is currently unavailable trading due to scheduled maintenance. PXOS. All right, so whoever got that one there knows what we're looking at, and you get that bill. So I'm going to probably hop out here momentarily on Uber. Obi, we're up 2.5%. I don't have much out there. Yeah, hangry wife, you know.
Someone in the chat was just like, "Oh, shouldn't we know that information if we're following your trade?"
Yeah,
listen,
I seen that.
Listen, I do not condone that.
No.
It's a live trading show. You know, we put our neck on the line by giving you guys, like showing you what we're doing, not really giving you guys plays. Yeah. You have to be able to develop your own playbook and trade your own book. I do not condone copy trading, so get good is what I have to say to you. Get good, get better.
That's very true.
Do your own thing, play your own book.
There's no long-term success. I remember the first.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like just copy trade the rest of your life?
No, it doesn't work.
It's not gonna work. The market's gonna put you in your place real quick.
And there's a delay, right? So you can see like our entries, and then sure enough, a couple seconds later, you're like, oh, they're in it. Let me get in. But your risk to reward isn't the same. I will say, get good.
For those of you who are getting angry in the chat, just get good.
Just get good.
Get better. If you're a gamer, you know exactly what that means. Thank you, come again.
And I like to say it sucks to suck, so just try not to at the end of the day. Obviously, a lot easier said than done.
To educate.
Educate.
Not for you to, do whatever.
2-2's Crody. Oh, wow.
2-2's my guy.
Oh, wow.
2-2's,
where
straight
are you
facts.
from? Yeah, where are you from?
Where are you from? We know where he's from.
Yeah. Full disclosure, first day trading live on my own at home. I was like, oh, he's in it, bang. Follow this one individual. It worked out for me. And I'm like, oh, this is super easy. But that was about it. One and done on that front. And I was like, yeah. And throughout the whole process, my educational process, they're like, yeah, don't do this, don't do this. Day one, I do it. It works. And I'm like, oh, no. Come on. It's only a matter of time until I'm on a yacht. But
you don't know the mindset.
Yeah.
You don't have the same seat time as any other trader. I'm not talking about myself, right? It's like you don't know what the intention of the trade is. You don't know why the trade is happening. It could be just a whatever trade. I could just be taking shots at something, feeling out some tape, or you know what I mean. You don't know what the sizing is. The sizing is definitely different across different trades. So I'm putting on different kinds of risk. Right. So at the end of the day, I think the intention is, for education and entertainment, right? And we bring it to you here live. Anything and everything that's happening in the market, hopefully we get to that, and we have your guys' eyes as well, so we can have that perspective at the same time. So, anyways, where's the next trade is what I'm looking for here. I have no idea. I'm just taking a look around. Sidhu actually got back below the day's low here. So let's take a quick look at SIDU. And wow, look at that. Another $5 rejection on the day today. So this thing's kind of chopping around with that $5 mark here. Prior day, bit of a consolidation, double bottom in and around 460s. We're coming back into that level, which was a little bit of a support level yesterday. Prior day VWAP probably in and around there as well. Let's just take a quick look at where prior day VWAP is sitting. There you go. We actually broke below it here at 487. Yeah, exactly. Brian Hart said stop. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
What did he say?
He said, Obi said stop pocket watching.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go.
Stop pocket watching. Stop watching whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
What do you got going on?
Read the super chat, Obi. That's directed to you.
You're short, Softy. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, man. I'll give that to you. The better place to get short on Softy was definitely up here at 488s, 489s when that trend broke, 100%. I saw it later. I definitely sized down significantly, and I'm giving it a lot more room, right? I'll say that much. More than willing to be wrong before I am right on this one, and it's okay. I don't care if I lose on this one because, again, I understand and believe in my own abilities to take the next trade. And that's what matters in the long run here. Pepsi, another one here that a beautiful continuation, man. These things are selling off almost every day here back to back. Now, day 3 on Pepsi as we have seller dominance once again. So take a look at this. We had that strong selling coming in on Monday, right? VWAP holds. Again on Tuesday, pretty much seller dominant. Once again today, a little bit consolidated sideways. So we get that another iteration of leg consolidation leg here on the day today. Again, my fault for not punching through prior day's lows or even a VWAP hold right off of the open. And again, was it doing relative volume? Absolutely, yes. It was doing 1.8 to 2 times relative volume coming in off of the open. Bit of a spike into 2.5 times as we push lower. You can see those volume spikes as well intraday. And now holding VWAP at the same time on Pepsi. Let's see how our friend Coke is doing and what it's up to here. Okay, seller dominance here as well, but didn't quite break and get as low relative to the prior day's low as did Pepsi. So let's see, short on PLTR, says Tony. Okay, I like you right there. Let's see, is there a reason to sell here? I was watching this and I was like, okay, this is getting a little overextended. Let's see, 186.85s, 187s here. Incoming potentially, but yeah, a very strong trend to the upside. If you were to just to put a moving average on here, I don't want to put the VWAP here. Let me just get rid of this one, and then we can just put on some EMAs here. Moving average exponential, we'll go 2050. I forget which one I use on mine, but we can just use this one. This will give us a 9 EMA, that's fine. Again, just a line on the chart to give us a little bit of a perspective here to what might be going on. And buyers are definitely in charge, right? And this is just an indicator that shows you that, every time it comes into it, it's getting bought up, it's getting bought up. So it is an uptrend. Right, it's a trend indicator. So if it's above the line, likelihood that we are uptrending. You can kind of confluence that with structure holds higher highs and higher lows as well. It's in an uptrend. So usually I'm just like, that's the front side of the move. Sometimes you'll see me get involved in the front side of the move, and that's, if I'm managing my risk well and sizing appropriately, I think that's okay if I'm feeling it out. But when the right side comes in, we're probably going to be below the 9 moving average. We're probably going to start breaking structure distinctly differently than we have been breaking structure to the upside. Here to the upside, we hold prior lows and then we break prior highs. We hold any sort of low and we break prior highs. We break this little consolidation here. We hold prior lows and we break prior highs. Now that is going to be flipped on its head when and if we get a bit of a downtrend. You can see here, this is very confluenced with the Nasdaq and the ES here as they're continuing to push higher and higher. So that's something you got to consider as well. Do I personally like the short on this? As of right now, I don't think so. I mean, you can have whatever reasoning. Maybe you're seeing a prior level, right? Let's go back. Maybe you're shorting into resistance. That's also something that I like to do. But that's a bit of a I would say it can become a sticky situation. So right here, some prior levels here of resistance, 188s, 189s, and then this over here is sitting at 198, so just shy of 200. So if you're thinking maybe head and shoulders, we're pulling up into this prior level of resistance. We pull up into there, maybe we get some selling here as well. Ultimate resistance here, as of recent, is at 198, 199s, just below 200. So Palantir very strong. Let's take a look at it on an even higher time frame on a weekly and see what it's been up to here. Very strong uptrend. So like trend, we are very much in a multi-year, yes, multi-year since about 2023, multi-year uptrend on this one. Trust me, I'm looking for the backside. But is it here yet? Absolutely not. If we throw a 9 EMA, I don't know if I want to use a 9 EMA on a weekly. Let's go to, it's way extended above the 200, right? There you go, there's the 200. So probably no real benefit in using that one. 50 will be a little bit closer, right? And if you want to hug it even closer, sometimes I like to use a 30. And I know people like to use a 21 at the same time, so let's see if we can get that 21-21 for those people who like to use a 21 right there. That's going to be a little bit tighter at the same time. So you can see here, not too much of a difference from the 30 to the 21, but sometimes it's just my preference. I like to work in 3s and 9s, yeah, this thing right here, holding the 21 quite well. That's sitting at 172.62. So still very much within a bigger picture uptrend. Here is Palantir. Unless and until it can get below, hold below then and only then will I be like, okay, fine, I'm going to look for pops that fail to follow through to the upside when we're below the 90 MA to maybe look for a bigger picture short on this one. But this thing is absolutely crazy, man. Look, since this run-up started to happen, this is around, look, it pretty much went dead, sub $10 from about 2022 to 2023, and these guys were getting government contracts, everything, and no real price action to kind of, give it precedence, right? So 2,200% since May of 2023. That's when we started to get these large volume bars consistently on this name here that I'm seeing on the weekly, just reading what is shown to me on the chart. So, all right, so what else you guys have going on here? I like the 920, 50, and 200 saying Mike DeRuyter. Yeah, of course, I like those as well. I'll tell you, I can tell you what I use on mine at the same time. So I have one here that is a multi-frame at the same time. So yeah, it has a it has an 8, 21, 50, and then 200. So yeah, very, very similar. I know a lot of people were using the 50 and the 200. There's a lot of past evidence for using that. If you read some of the greats in the past, they're using like 50s and 200s on the weeklies as well. So those are definitely something to watch out for. What do you got going?
We got instant ITM right there on.
Intel.
On Intel, yeah, I posted up right here at 05s. It filled me, and then it got a nice little bounce. So now we need to wait to 15s to see if we can catch a fill and take a little bit off. I'm out at 95s, guys. So a pretty tight stop, 10 cents. We're in full risk right here. A nice indecision print right at the volume-weighted average price. So I'm looking for any form of continuation. Let's wait to 15s to see if we can get that mark going. We're below the volume-weighted average price, and we have an indecision doji on the 5-minute that the close is equal to the open, so you can see it closing as that print right there. Let's see if this works. We got that pop instantly, but now it seems to be pulling back a little bit, which isn't too positive. Oh no. And there it goes, really aggressively. I have to be prepared to get out of this immediately if it's not gonna work for us. I mean, time in and time out can happen within the same couple of minutes. So let's see if we can get that bounce. Will I re-engage in this? Possibly. I mean, we had such a strong opening drive, and the first little bit was pretty strong. So I like our chances for somewhat of a rebound. Intel was actually on my radar this morning, but I kind of passed it. I'm like, man, my accuracy on this thing isn't the best. So let's see if we can find something that doesn't have so much activity. How much volume are we sitting here on the day? 110 million shares? Wow.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. So I mean, hey, let's see if this is going to work out for us. We're flat right now. And we need an additional pop. 15s is going to put us right below that VWAP. So if we get that move into there, then hopefully we can break through a little bit and head up into 43.25s. But first things first, we need 15s to come into play first. So let's be patient and sit on that. The initial pop right out of the gate was promising, but now you can see the weakness kind of step in on the bid at printing 43.04s. There you go, a nice little pop at 05s, but not much of a reaction here in the underlying. You can see the strong at the ask, and there you go, another flush, but it's not lifting, and then sure enough you get a strong move to the downside right there. So keep your eyes on the time of sales, guys. Right up to 08s. There we go. Okay, a nice little pop. That's reassuring for sure. Let's see if this can be continued. Again, we're waiting for that 1-to-1 to come in at 15s. If not, we're out at 95s. I would like to give it a little bit more, but I'm going tight stop here in full size. If there's an opportunity to add, maybe we'll double it up here. But right now, INTC not doing too bad for us, especially if we're going to try to get that rebound. We're all out of Uber. That trade worked out really well for us earlier in the day. Now let's see if we can get Intel. This is going to be the second name I've traded here on the intraday session, and I mean, just keeping things really tight. And I told you, precision is kind of my narrative right now, and it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So let's be patient, wait for those quality setups to come into play, and try to keep that trading accuracy as high as we possibly can here, guys. 08. I think if we can crack 10s, then we might be okay. There we go. Okay, we're printing 10s now, Obi. Not too bad. Ooh, see, immediate. So there's some defense there. That's not good. I'm going to get stopped out here momentarily. I can feel it as we're slowly starting to curl over. 43.10. we ran right into, and then we rejected aggressively. So I got to be prepared to get out of this immediately. Liquidity is not going to be an issue considering we are only at a 1 cent spread. So as soon as I hit that key, I should get the fill that I'm looking for. But that nice pop into 43.10, I thought we'd get a little bit more of a move here. So trying to be as patient as we possibly can. That is putting us below this little consolidation you can see here on the lower time frame. But now we're starting to break down. So let's see if we can get intel to move. The market is slowly starting to come back in. So let's see what we got going on here with INTC. Hopefully it's not a clean flush to the downside, considering we will give back the majority of our day here if we do get stopped out, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'm in double the size here in INTC and then which I was in Uber. So if this works out, that is going to be a pretty solid trade, but a lot of defense stepping in here on the time of sales. You can see the clean flushes at the bid continuously pushing price down, and a little bit of strength stepping in here and there, but it sees immediately some solid reactions. Okay, punch back up to 05. You can do it. You can do it, INTC, up to 06, 07. We're printing 07s now. Back to 10s. Let's see how we react around 10s here, Obi. I got to be prepared to take a little bit out at 15s if we're fortunate enough to do so. We're looking at 30%. We'll take some off there if we do happen to get up to 15s. That'll put us at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then after that, it's just like, hey, we're risk off at that point. Right now, risk on, considering we haven't taken anything off. 15s, we take 30% off. It's just let's rock and roll and see. We go 13s. There we go, Obi. Now starting to climb a little bit higher. Let's see if we can get anything. I don't want to take it too early. It's very tempting to do so, but one more clean flush at the above the ask, then I think we have the ability to hit that. Oh, it rejected aggressively. So we were close, man. Really, really close. Let's see if we can get one more clean move up to there, or it's just going to reject the volume weighted average price. I don't know why on TWS. Guys, let me know if you do use TWS, is it continuously, like, for some reason, VWAP never wants to be displayed for me. It will go on 5-minute, but as soon as I go over to the lower time frame, it's like, no, yeah, we can't calculate that or whatever. So yeah, it's been slightly frustrating. It works sometimes, it doesn't, but as for right now, you can see the green line on my chart. That is going to be the volume weighted average price, chilling around 43.20, but that rejection of that level, once again, not looking too promising. We'll try to hold on to this for as long as we can. The deeper ITM we get, the more comfortable we'll obviously be within this position. So let's see if we can get this to work. We're printing 09s again, a clean flush. Can we get back up to 10s? Let's see it. There we go. We're printing 11s. That was a nice 11 print. One more. Some more buyers step in and see if we can print that 15s, and then we're going to immediately, I might even take a little bit more off, maybe 35%. If we are fortunate enough to get into that level, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself right now. As you can see at the ask, we are printing 09s, Obi.
Yes, good stuff there, Joe. Yeah, that intel can be very finicky there, man. Especially if you're watching like every take, it can be like, you know, some of those swipes as well. I was trading it this morning. It can get pretty hairy, but yeah. I was looking for a reversion to VWAP, and it got to VWAP, right? The buying in the morning was definitely exceptional and very, very aggressive. There is the second red candle happening on the ES. Well, we just started printing this one, 14 minutes left, but we got the first red candle after 3 consecutive greens here. Let's see how this one pans out, but a little bit of a slowdown after extended range of some of those initial 15 minutes. Let's see if the Nasdaq will do the same, but the Nasdaq is significantly stronger than that of the ES. You can see here, I mean, the pullbacks, look at the pullbacks. The ES kind of had a wipe all the way down to lows and then broke out of its highs and then got about to 7,005 right here. But the Nasdaq stepped up on its pullback, stepped up on its pullback, and now pushing even higher, even though the candles, the 15-minute candles, they had some range, but now they're becoming a little muted. Let's see if sellers can hold this down a little bit. I have no idea, but 2,600 on the horizon here on the Nasdaq on the day. So IWM I'm watching as well. That thing was doing some moves yesterday. If you guys saw this, take a look at the 15-minute chart on this. One of my pod members pointed this out and was just like, this thing just looks ridiculous on a 15-minute. I was like, yeah, looking at it here on a 15-minute or a 5-minute, there was definitely a little bit of a buyer that started around 12 o'clock and did not stop until the close on IWM. So consecutive, consistent buying all day long. maybe a little too far too fast and maybe a little too consistent. Participants kind of showing themselves, and we get a bit of a reversion, just over a 50% reversion of that leg before that buying steps right back in. And this was another miss on my part. But you know, this one's a little bit. This kind of reversions might be a little bit more difficult, and I'm still trying to figure everything out here. So absolutely beautiful. You can see here 5-minute, 15-minute, whatever, just consecutive bars to the downside. And when that cracks, we get that bid up as well. Same story here on the 15. I like to use the 3s. The 3 is not really as clean, but you know, same idea there. Back through VWAP. But honestly, I'm looking to see if these sellers step back in, if the market turns as well. Again, it is the IWM, so that is the small to mid cap, I think. So yeah, no. We'll see. We'll see if that one pulls back in. I'm watching Palantir very closely as well. I know it's not necessarily, or it wasn't necessarily doing some relative volume earlier, but guess what? We're starting to step up. Most recent action has got us above 1 times RVOL. We're starting to push up into 1.2 times RVOL. So I'm starting to put eyes on this one as it is starting to get very extended. Get out of here, EMA. Give me my VWAP. Where's it at? Right here. It was just VWAP, VWAP, VWAP. There it is. Boom. Just throw that on there. And Bollinger Bands, no thank you. Not for VWAP. Let's get those out of there as well. So that's VWAP right there. 182 halves. Take a look at this extension away from VWAP. That is intense there on Palantir. Softy seems to be just consolidating sideways, so I don't know how long I'm going to stick into this one. Shout out to the member in the chat that got short earlier. That was the trade. This is me just kind of dabbling in, seeing if it'll actually come into fruition all the way down into VWAP. If the market turns, then I think the probabilities of that happening are a little bit better here. There goes the Nasdaq going red to green on the candle with about 10 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. That's what I'm watching. IWM, man, I do want to participate a little bit here. Let me just take a little bit of a dabble, figure out what my risk is. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad. Let me just get involved in here and give it the appropriate risk here that I think it deserves. So check that level again. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, that's what I have on watch right now. Let's see if that comes into fruition here. Softy still kind of holding, but I'm looking for this Nasdaq to come in. Wow, some acceleration here on Palantir. The volume,
still going.
The volume isn't necessarily increasing, but the relative volume is. Interesting note. All right, where's the next trade? Let's take a quick look at some of these mags. Who's turning? Google attempted to break its high today. It didn't quite get there. What is that most recent high? 321.90s. 322.29 is the day high here on Apple. Sorry, not Apple, Alphabet. Amazon is at its day highs. Amazon as well, man. Absolute strength on Amazon over the past couple of days. Going so crazy here. Let's take a look at, let's get that VWAP out of the way. Let's look at a multi-hour frame here and look at this breakout. So this is the weekly, daily breakout that happened at that 240 as well as 235s here. And we're just holding structure. Look at that. Pull up, pull back onto this level and then holds that 240. Now we're taking another leg up. Is this back from its consolidation lows? Looks like it. Let's go up to a weekly and see what this has been up to. Absolutely beautiful trend here. Absolutely beautiful. Higher highs, higher lows. We had a bit of a structure hold at the beginning of 23. January 23, we made a low in and around 80. This was post-split, and we're back up into this 200s. What was the split here again? 20-1. 20-1. I still remember when Amazon was $1,000 ticker. Crazy times. But you know, it seems like it's making its way back up there, Joe. So we'll see. Still a long ways to go. We still have to get past 250. Then we got to get through 5. Then we got to get through 750, and then maybe we'll hit that 1,000 mark once again here as stonks apparently only go up.
Yeah, I mean, I got blown out of the water. I doubled it up right here, and then it just flushed to the downside. So we're going to say AC Slater to to INTC, and I don't know why I traded that, but we're not going to whine about it too much. I was just going to stay away from some of these chip names right now. No bid here. I thought we would get somewhat of a bounce. Doesn't seem to be the case there in INTC, so I'm just kind of documenting what happened there, and just going to move on to the next thing. We took a massive hit, so we gave everything back and then some here, and then it didn't fill me on my full position at 42.90s. So yeah, we took a pretty hefty hit there. Down. Now I went from positive to down 60% approximately of my shutdown. So that was a pretty big hit. I was pushing size on that one for a little bit of a move, but it didn't seem to want to come into play. So I'm just looking at what we can do and what we can find. I'm going to avoid some of these chip names, just documenting what we can get going here and when I was involved in all of these things. So I'll save that for a little bit later. But horrible trades on INTC. If it wants to bounce, that's fine. But it looks like it's relatively weak right here. You get the continuation in strength. So I want to go with the flow on that one. And let's find something else. Let's get INTC off of our charts and run back through our scanners. We'll head back to what's Uber doing, still steadily grinding higher. So let's go back there, even though we're probably not going to put any more positions on Uber. We'll find something else. But yeah, hefty hit there on INTC. A clean move. I mean, we got out here at 87.28, so it was a pretty nice trade there. INTC not doing too much for us. Let's head over to SLV, continuing to grind higher. Some nice indecision prints there. Nothing that we can't recover from, but we just got to be extremely patient and wait for those higher quality setups. So we go 0 for 2 on INTC, and we go 1 for 2 on Uber, turning us nicely green. But yeah, ugly hit there on INTC, potential bounce. There it is. It looks like it wants to go now. That's crazy. Maybe, do I? I don't know. Hey man, why not? I got my 3 strikeout rule. No, like it's annoying, but I'm not overly upset about it or anything like that, because it's only a couple of trades away that we can bounce. Yeah, I'm going to take one more stab at this, guys, to see if we can get a nice little pop in INTC. It's going to be really tight risk. Again, we're going to only give it 10 cents or so. So let's take one more stab at it. If it doesn't work out, then so be it. We still got plenty. Okay, it looks like it wants to break through here. So what am I thinking here on INTC was this little print. So if we do start to cover a little bit more of this, I got to act relatively quick on this, guys. So I got to post up at, the closer I get to the lower end of the range, the better the risk to reward is going to be, obviously. But I do like that print right there. If we crack that low, then that's not going to be good, right? So it's if I enter right now, it's 4 cents, because I think 80 is going to be a good area to get out. So let's be patient and see what we got going. All right, I'm involved. I'm posted up here. Oh, it's getting that bounce right now, isn't it? So we'll see it. Hopefully the third time's a charm here on INTC, guys. We're super tight on the risk. If we get that 20 cents bounce, we're going to recover a lot of in which we have lost here on this specific name. I'm not chasing it. I'm posted up at that level that I want, and that's going to be 85s approximately. So let's see if we can get that print to step in. All right, we're in involvement at 5 cents worth of risk. If it cracks 80s, we're out of dodge on this one. So really tight game that we're playing right now. We're walking on a thread, and there it goes. It cracks lower. So we're going to have to hop out of INTC once again. Yeah, there it goes. It's just breaking. Okay, sick, no fill. So we'll have to get out of that one. Doesn't look like it wants to bounce. We go 0 for 3 on INTC. Nothing to cry home about. We'll find something else to trade, as it didn't want to rebound as we were typically planning it to do so. So I'll make sure I document those later. But it's unfortunate that INTC did not work out how we wanted it to. So it's time to find something else to trade. I thought that would be a pretty good signal to get involved with. Doesn't seem to be the case, as it's starting to give back a little bit of a move. Commodity King, yeah, I know. I should just get into crowd. No, I want to find something else. What did I just click there? Oh, all right. So yeah, let's see what else we can get going on with, remind me later. So yeah, I mean, if it bounces, which it looks like it wants to right now. Just a liquidity grab. We were in at 85s. It's now printing 86s, which, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see what else we can pull up here and see if there's anything else that's kind of attractive to us right now. Oh, it's printing 87s. Wow, that's crazy. All right, INTC, see you later. What's QuantumScape up to here today? QS, this is OS though, sorry, no liquidity on one stream. Not too familiar with that name, but just rolling through this. I was thinking this signal right here, we would get a little bounce. You've seen that we got one here as well too. 43.50, and then sure enough, you get that move a little bit higher. So probably have to wait for that 5-minute time frame. No continuation. I thought, considering that we're right at the volume weighted average price, then we would get that bounce, but it didn't seem to be the case. As for SPY, you're hovering around those highs. I don't like the location of this 5-minute hammer. APLD, is it still chopping around? Oh, it decided to take a little bit of a move to the south side. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I got to get INTC off here before it continuously drags me in. QBTS showing some signs of life. We like that. I got to really watch my risk now, especially with that third hit, down 80% approximately of the SD. So we got to tighten things up and reduce our size. A couple winners, we hold those for 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s, then we're right back into this game. So I'm not going to count myself out just yet, even though risk measures are extremely, extremely tight right now. Amazon continuing to climb higher, putting in a new high of the day. We like that. 100%. I don't know if should I go with Tesla or Amazon for my picks this year. I'm stuck between the both. I think both of them have pretty good chances of continuing to climb a little bit.
It depends. What weird food-themed acronym are you trying to spell? I think that'll have to be.
You know what? See, that's the thing.
That'll have to be what tips the scale there, Joe.
That's the thing, Adair. I don't know if I'm going with my acronym this year, even though it's been proven a working strategy. I mean, if it works once, you may as well go back to it. But I got to interpret JPM in there, and then maybe Tesla and CrowdStrike. So there it is. What's the Wordle, right? So I give you those 3 letters, J, C, and T, and then we'll throw one more. What kind of word can we create?
If you have some kind of E, you could do like eject. So like an inject or an eject, but like on its own, it doesn't work.
Okay.
I love Scrabble, so I just got really excited by this. There's really no other vowel you could put in there that would remotely make sense unless you try to do like a fun like pronunciation thing, like jacked, like JACT. That could be fun.
Jacked,
but yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah. Or maybe pack. I don't know. No, but we have to put an E in there. We don't want the E. Uber continuing to climb, man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Obi, what do you got going on there, brother?
So I got into a little bit of Palantir there. Someone pointed it out in the chat, so thank you. So yeah, we'll see. This thing may just come in and stop me out as well if we're going to continue to push up. But I do want to get involved if and when sellers do start to show up. If buyers are just going to kind of step off. And, you know, we talk about like there's kind of different types of buying. There's active and there's passive buying. And if they start to become a little passive after being active for so long, we could still hold some higher lows. We could still kind of start going sideways, consolidation, whatever. But I want to be involved here a little bit. So shout out to whoever, I forget who it was in the chat that mentioned Palantir just a second ago. Oh, Trade Sniper TTV, Palantir dumping. Saying I don't know if it's dumping. But it is starting to get a little distinctly different relative to the most recent action that we've had. But we could just have a larger consolidation and then step up and break out once again as well. You can see the market here also still holding very much near its highs as well. I got involved with this IWM. I think I told you guys a little bit earlier. Just a little bit of a dabble to see if this will pan out for a bit of a pullback. But again, these markets are very, very strong, and I am definitely going against a little bit of the grain here with that. Softy, looks like that one's not really going to work out here as it continues to kind of hold some of those highs and pull up higher, but that's fine. I'll let that one kind of happen. If it's going to hit, it'll hit. If it doesn't, that's fine as well. Where's the next trade? Just moving on to the next one. Wow, man. Yeah, I still have Intel up here from before. These sellers are very much in charge, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
it came down. It tried to get above VWAP. I like the idea of like buying some at VWAP.
Oh, you're short the whole market pretty much right now.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm short some Softy, which is not working. I'm short some Palantir, which doesn't look like it's going to work very cleanly. But I'm expecting that. It's Palantir. It's not going to be clean. And IWM is starting to pull back in here as well. So maybe that's the indicator as, you know, some pullback. There it is. There's a bit of a pullback on the spider crawling back down the spout. The Nasdaq as well holding at 2,600. There's some breaking news. Adara?
Blackstone dropping on this story, though there are other stocks that are also moving, which we'll mention after here. But BX on watch, U.S. President Donald Trump apparently announcing that he's taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes. Blackstone dropping here, but I immediately, when I saw this story, looked at Open Door. OPEN is also dropping. So basically, if you are a stock that is involved in the sales of homes, or if you are an institutional investor in said homes, your stock's probably getting hit right now as US President Donald Trump announces that he's, quote, taking steps to stop institutional investors, specifically large investors here, from buying more single-family homes. Again, Open Door down about 12 cents on this story. BX down closer to like $3, $4, although it's bouncing quite nicely here as we send you back to Joe and Obi.
Yes, right, now we're playing here. We got some movement in the market. We got some presidential news here as Blackstone kind of, hitting the ground here. 152 is a low, currently trading at 153s. I am watching this very closely. Again, news just came out, so things can be a little bit hairy here. Wow, the spread is nasty. That was a $1 spread just now. I'm saying, is this a little too far, too fast? Or are we still a little early for this news? I might wait for some structure to form because, yeah, the algos are on this. 156s, 155s. Here comes 152s maybe. Let's see if that can come into fruition. But the market here is looking like it is taking a little bit of a pullback. I want to get and stay involved with this one here if we're going to crack a little bit lower. Boom, there it is. That's what I like to see. Let's see if we can break that 152 right now. 152 is the low a day, and the spread is, again, about 50 to 60 pennies there. There's that spread closing in and stepping down. 152 is not so good of a news report for Blackstone, because I think last I remember they were buying up a lot of real estate there as well. So let's see if that 152 cracks, and if that 152 cracks, let's see if we get that continuation to the downside. Prior levels that I'm seeing as maybe as potential support, 150s. That's what I'm aiming for here. There's the IWM as well, so that's working out nicely.
Oh,
hey yo, there's that 152 break. So 152 break gives us 40 pennies into the bid there right away. But again, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. I'm just going to be patient here. I was like, I'm going to look for some structural change or structure formation to take that breakdown. But 152 crack. Let's see if we can convincingly hold below this. I do like this for a bit of a news continuation trade. Might just need a little bit more time to cook, but that was a little too far. Too fast perhaps as well, but bringing in some selling into the market. So let me look across the board here and see what else has started to sell off. Out of the Mag 7, nothing really has started to turn. Okay, there we go. BX coming right back up above 152. So that's what I want to make sure. Does it break down with conviction? Does it hold the breakdown? Do we hold or build some sort of structure? So that's what I'm looking for here on Blackstone at the same time. So IWM did do a little bit of a pullback here, 255.40s. So I'm looking at Palantir, nothing too crazy happening there. So let me just pull up IWM. That's on the Amex here, and take a look at, put that chart on watch here. Take a look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I'm looking away. Doesn't even give me a chance to add through this consolidation breakdown at 255.80s, but we're straight down to VWAP already. Oh my God.
Did you take any off or no?
On what?
BX?
No.
Oh, okay.
What's
Palantir up to? Is that working for you?
Palantir is starting to work, I guess. Wow, there's the Blackstone drop. 150s on the bid. Let's go. Doesn't even give you that much of a chance to add in here. So you know what? I have what I have now. I just have to make the right decisions as we pull into 150. Let's see if 150 can give us a little bit of a cover here. 150, 25s on the bid. Slap that bid. Slap that bid. Let's go. That's just me talking to the book sometimes. I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but you know, if I could see the participants on the other side.
Did you take some off there?
No, I'm just sitting on a little bit of 150. Let's see if we can clock some 150s, 150.01s. There it is, 149,
there it goes again. There it goes
148s. There we go. Now it's falling apart. Let's go.
Really
150 is definitely going to bring some players to the board. Oh boy.
Nice
moment. I have to say about
nice momentum play. All right, we ready for this here?
We take some news.
Assassino? Andre? No? Okay. All right. Are we doing the...
What's happening?
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries. All right, yeah, we'll take care of that momentarily. Yeah, so I'm just documenting here on INTC. We got hella aggressive OB. Nice work there on BX. Let's get that up here again as you continue to take that move to the downside. So yeah, someone said, Obi, where's your stop again on that one? He doesn't need it.
Why do you need
he doesn't need that one on this one. BX continuing to climb a little bit lower here.
You do need stop.
A nice move, nice momentum play to the downside there, Obi. We like that a lot. $150 and change. The volatility is in aggressively, but we're going to send it over to Adara, guys.
I just want to mention some other stocks that are moving on this headline. LENTOLPHMKBH, and again, of course, OPEN, which is, as I mentioned, the first one I checked, and one of the ones I mentioned as well. Anything that is involved in the sales of homes is moving. BX also moving again as an institutional investor. As U.S. President Donald Trump announced, he's going to be banning large institutional investors from purchasing single-family homes. He also mentions in the post that he wants to codify this as law. Back to you.
Or break bounce right here for me. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pop. Oh, I don't even have it up over here, man. That's not good. This is going to bring us right back to life there, Obi. Bang. Yes, thank you very much. On this bounce up in BX. Obi goes short. Your boy goes long here on BX. Let's take a little bit off here. Hey, man, just give us a little bit more breathing room on this one. The long in BX really starting to work for us. We're in at 150.92s. I just punched it. I'm like, hey, man, let's see if we can get this rocking and rolling. This is just a breathing room trade. Sorry, Adara, I don't know. I totally missed what she was saying. I'm like, man, let's get involved with this. So Obi short, your boy long here on BX. If only we held a little bit more and took some more size. But again, I mentioned this earlier. I have to be really cautious of my share sizing here. We'll take a little bit more off now, sitting on 20%. Just a little bit of breathing room for your boy. Let's see if we can get a move up to 155 on that. On this BX trade. So there it is, a nice little move to the top side off of that 1 minute hammer. I'm like, let's rock and roll on this one. So nice trade there, Obi. And then now we take a little bit of a move here on BX to the top side. I liked what we were displaying. I seen your charts and I'm like, okay, I got to get involved in this.
Back through 150, man. That was key.
Yeah, exactly. So 151, we're in a little bit earlier than that. We'll take that one up into 152. And we're only sitting on approximately 20% of our position. That's all we needed, man. Chip in a chair, a little bit of breathing room. So now let's see if we can take a little bit more off here. That would be phenomenal. 155, I think, might be a little bit of a dream. That would be an aggressive recovery as it's really starting to come back in here. All right, we got to get out of this here now as it comes back to our break even. We'll still hold on to a positive trade on that one. So a nice little move there on BX. Nice work, Obi. Now I got my eyes on silver as it's coming into the volume weighted average price, documenting everything that we do. We'll even write down this little bit of a scalp here, and then also looking for other potential trades. Now that we have that breathing room, we can start to head back into full size, and it only takes a 3-to-1 for us to be right back to positive, and I think that can happen at any given moment. And are we headed over to,
I just really quickly want to mention to you guys here, RKT actually moving higher on this, and people on social media saying that RKT as well as LDI, so anything in the mortgage space, could actually benefit from this story here with Trump trying to ban the sale of single-family homes, the purchase of single-family homes by large investors. Basically, the idea is that if large investors stop buying these, then individual mortgages can actually be originated at a greater rate. So that's why RKT and LDI like this story, even as you get drops from, again, the likes of Open Door, Lennar, KB Homes, Toll Booth, BX, etc. Back to you.
Perfect. So you're all out of that? Did you get out break even?
No.
Oh, okay. You took all your bid out?
I was just sitting, sitting on the bid multiple times. So the lowest out I have is 148 and some change there, and then back through 150. I'm definitely hitting the ask there because I'm just like the breakthrough 150 definitely deserved a little bit of a push. I didn't add on to it, but again, when I'm reviewing this trade, I got to be adding through that. When I'm looking at a shorter time frame, we're holding the anchored VWAP relative to this event. So again, anchored VWAPs, shout out to Mr. Brian Shannon there. I like to throw them on to events. So right there, that's the event where we hold that. So if I'm watching a shorter time frame, guess what? Boom, that should be an ad. This should be an ad. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole minutes 153s, and then we break those 152s. That was a crack. 150 also, I think, deserves a little bit of an ad, but when it swipes right back up, yeah, you're covering some on a little too far, too fast. This candle is definitely one of the examples of maybe a little too far, too fast there, pulling right back up into its anchored. Let's see where it goes from here. Again, that was my quick scalp trade, but I think we have a bit of a guest right now with Adara, so take it away.
To the show, Daniel McCoy, who is the newly appointed CEO and president and founding chief geologist of Eminent Gold Corp. They're trading on the TSX Ventures, TSXV as EMNT. Great to have you with us, Daniel. How are you doing today?
Great. Nice to be here. I appreciate being on your show.
Very grateful to have you. So let's get right into it here. How does the work that your team is doing compare to the likes of Keegan and Caden in the early stages? And then can you also just explain a bit what your company does?
We do early stage exploration, and we've had great success with that. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of groundwork because we have to start from scratch, essentially, where we're starting out, usually, not always, but usually with, nothing done before. No samples, no drilling, and that was definitely the case with our HSRP. But the rewards are great. So as you were saying, we have our old band back from Asasi. And Asasi was a discovery that our initial company called Keegan made in Africa. It's 5 million ounces from nothing, essentially. And it delivered an 18 times return to our shareholders. So we're definitely on the right side of the Lassonde curve there. And so we see strong potential to repeat that success with our flagship Hot Springs Range project because it was the same thing. We just found a couple of really brilliant people, Justin and Ajit in New York. We went and worked with them, and we found soils, and we got good geophysics, and we've hit on all 4 of our holes, including this recent intercept, our 9.2 meters of 3.2 grams per ton, which is very significant.
Congratulations on that milestone. And let's actually move right on to intercept, because that's exactly what I want to ask you about now. What is the significance of this intercept, both in terms of the industry as a whole and Eminent specifically, especially with that milestone you just mentioned?
Well, it's actually an intercept that's a mineable intercept in certain types of deposits, right? I mean, obviously we would like to find more than that, and we think we will, because the odds of actually hitting the best intercept at the very beginning are pretty low. I'm sure there's better to come. So, there may be, it's exploration, so they'll be good, they'll be bad. But, we really think that we're onto something. And the significance of it is that it's an oxide discovery. So most of the belts in the Carlin system are fairly mature these days. And basically being mined with sulfide, which underground, which requires a much higher grade because you have to roast it, you have to autoclave it. This is oxide. We don't see any sulfide in this at all. And it's all the usual minerals, hematite, limonite. And so, we believe that it's going to be recoverable by cyanidization. Now, we need to run the bottle roll test to know this for sure. But, sulfides are pretty easy to see, and we don't see any of them.
Well, with that in mind, I actually want to talk a little bit more about oxide here. Specifically, what can you tell us about the scarcity of an oxide Carlin system, and what does that mean for your company right now?
Well, Carlin systems typically form originally in sulfide. The gold travels with, not to get too complex, but the gold tends to travel with hydrogen sulfide complexes, and it comes out, essentially atomically bonded to either arsenium pyrite or to arsenopyrite, and that's why it's so difficult to get out of the ore, because of those sulfide complexes. So the oxide complexes means that you're close enough to the surface that the combination of air and water over millions of years breaks down those sulfides and you get oxides. And so that's much easier to recover. And our, relative to the surface, we're not deep. People are drilling for, a couple thousand meters looking for Carlin systems, and we're about 250 meters below the surface. Most of that is actually post-mineral volcanic, and so that's why we think we've got oxide. The actual host rock is very close to the surface where the mineralization is.
Are there any other final thoughts or highlights that you'd like to share about Eminent Gold, or you'd like to leave our audience with here today?
Well, I think what the attraction is here is we don't really have any peers when it comes to this, because I mean there are people that are still exploring and developing oxide deposits in Nevada. I mean, it's not like there aren't any being mined or being explored, but as far as we know, this is the first new discovery. And what makes that really interesting is that we're only 15 kilometers from Turquoise Ridge, which is one of the richest gold deposits in the world. And so that's pretty good, having that as your closest deposit near to you. But we're on oxide. We're in our own mountain range. And we have a very large property with other good targets. So we think this is just the beginning. We think this is a story that's going to go, and that we're going to see a lot of new investors want to be part of it.
Thank you so much for these insights and for coming here to join us today. Daniel McCoy, President and CEO, as well as founding Chief Geologist of Eminent Gold Corp. Again, you can find them as EMNT, that's EMNT, on the TSX Ventures. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
For that, Adair, fantastic interview and obviously very informative. So yeah, we like that gold play, most definitely. The refineries, everything along those lines has been most definitely in play. So we want to stick with things that have been working for us, and I think gold is going to continue to do so for the foreseeable future, even silver and some of these precious metals. So keep an eye out on those guys. MSTR, glue. Obi, you were talking about this earlier in the day.
That was a sticky one.
Yeah, it's very sticky right now. It's pretty sticky, forming that bull flag over here. I didn't. Ganther, I'm sorry, I didn't. IBIT, what is it up to off of these lows? Forming another indecision print, relatively choppy here this morning, right? I don't know if we're going to be able to find any form of a direction here in Bitcoin. What has it been up to here on the daily? I mean, I told you guys, keep an eye out on this stuff with Bitcoin. Just be prepared to sit in this stuff for quite some time. We make aggressive moves, whether it be to the top side or a little bit lower, and then sure enough, you just go in a multi-month consolidation. I mean, late November is when we really started this consolidation. Is the beginning of it, 24th to be exact. And this was when the this is the largest volume print since almost a year and a day earlier. But now we're just heading right back into this zone. So all of December, we've been trading within that range, and now we're about almost a week into January. And sure enough, yeah, it's doing the exact same thing, and it was to the top side as well. So the way I'm looking at this is that for me, I get it. Like, if you're being patient, if you want to sit in this for quite some time, just be prepared that Bitcoin might not do anything for multiple months. And if we go back even further, it consolidated for like 6 or 7 months, guys. And it's just like, for me, I would rather put my money to work somewhere else. It's going to continuously do the same thing. I mean, it doesn't sway me from being a Bitcoin bull. I just drastically reduced my exposure. It's no longer it is the largest holding, but not even to close to what it was before. I've reduced that by almost 60%. And I'm like, you know what? Let's rotate into some more names. So I bought a little bit more NVDA, some more Robinhood, and just disperse that cash in some quality names that have been working relatively well for us. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I mean, there's going to be a time when Bitcoin, it's the same thing with the Mag 7. We count them out for a little bit, and then it's like, oh yeah, magically they're back. No, it's not magically. The fundamentals are there. Obviously, there is none with Bitcoin. But if this thing is truly what it's displayed itself to be over the past, I don't know how many years now it's been out, 15 years, then I'm sure it'll be just fine. But just be prepared. At times it's going to suck drastically, and then at other times it's going to perform relatively well. But ever since this IBIT IPO, you go into those multi-month consolidations, and it's been takes a long time to work, so I don't know what anybody's timeline is or how long you want to be sitting in some of these names. Right now, I'm just scrolling through to see if we can find anything with some high volume. I'm going to have to modify my scanner right there. INTC, I have no idea what it's doing. I took my 3 stabs at that, so and it didn't work out for me. Mobileye looks like it might get a little bit of a bounce off of these lows. Not overly familiar with trading this, but risk profile can be there, right? The only issue is that now you're at the lower end of the range. You just have to be cautious in order to see if you break through that low. Once it does that, then you know that your thesis is essentially wrong. OBBX, man, right up to 155. Yeah, exactly.
Great reason to buy. I mean,
yeah,
you had the trade, dude. It's just like sometimes I understand that, like, if you're taking the 150 pushback, like risking all the way to 147 halves can be a little bit daunting. But guess what? That is the trade, right? It's like when something moves that far that fast, yeah, that is a very strong reason to buy, in my opinion. And take a look at this. We put that anchored VWAP onto the event. It was holding below. We had attempts to push higher that got slammed down, but then we did reclaim, and then now we're reclaiming VWAP. So yeah, it's just like that. This scalp for me is a very much done, especially after these reasons to buy back through 150 come right back in. So yeah, sometimes, you know, it's breaking news trades they're all kind of different. They're all somewhat differently nuanced as well. But when things happen like this, it's just like, yeah, you just want to be with the flow. You want to be with the momentum. And as soon as it's gone, I don't like to stay involved. Maybe looking for the next leg down, bigger picture, maybe as the news digests and disseminates around the world, it might be the next trade. But right now, we brought it to you here first.
Ooh.
Right on that initial candle. I saw it at 54s, right? I forget where my initial entry was as well. Let me just quickly pull that up. IWM worked out nicely as well. So IWM broke that consolidation. Now we're consolidating below VWAP. I'm out of majority of it, just having a runner on to see if we can actually make it into and through low a day. Palantir, a few ads there, but we'll see. We'll see if this one kind of comes in. But Blackstone, let's take a quick look at that one here. I forget where my initial entry was. Was that on the NYSE or the Nasdaq? That's an NQ stock. Okay, never mind. I'm on a different one. That is a NYSE.
BX is NYSE, yeah.
BX is NYSE. So let's take a look at that and see where my entry was. I think I was above 153s. No, I wasn't. I was at 152.70s. Yeah, I was looking to hit into 153s. Let's go down to the 1 minute right there. Yeah, so I had some time right there. A couple of minutes after Adara brought this to us right here, 154s to 153s. And then look, slam, 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 slam. 152s, 151s, that happens in a minute, and then 150s, and a swipe back up. So I did cover in and into that swipe, and then back into 152s. What's up, Joe?
All right, guys, savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X Daily leveraged ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. All right, so let's head right back into these markets. AAL starting to get a little bit of a bounce there, guys. What was the low? Yeah, not really in my wheelhouse. AAL gonna have to substantially size up. Shout out to BX, though, giving us that little bit of breathing room here. Obviously, we didn't maximize or optimize the potential trade, but we can now breathe and just get back to the regular systems operation. And that's what we want to do. We're going to stay on the hunt, and we're going to continuously look for things. Uber's starting to come back in. The market's coming back in a little bit as well, too, guys. Silver hovering right around the volume-weighted average price. Hangry Wife, is there a way, Hangry Wife, are you listening? Is there a way to reset the just the chart, not the whole platform in itself? If there is, please let me know. Can you, is there any way I can hit refresh on this or anything like that so I can get the volume weighted average price on there? That would have helped a lot on the INTC trade. But yeah, it is what it is. NFLX, what has it been up to? Taps up into 191.40 roughly. I don't use advanced charts, sorry, Joe. You use the standard? Yeah, no, rightfully so, because the advanced, you can't do so much on it, right? Like on the standard, on the older ones is when you can actually start to use your hotkeys and everything like that. So Yeah, it is. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. So you can't use your hotkeys on this one either. So, yeah, thanks for that anyways, regardless of what was going on. Thanks for pointing that out. MSTR and RGTI, guys, we're running through the scans once again to see what we got going on. What are my hotkeys? Mine are the most simplistic hotkeys as possible. I mean, it's no rocket science with this. Shift L, you guessed it, I'm going long. Shift S, I'm going short. And then F1, F2, F3 are going to be my partials there. So.
Well, those are on opposite sides of the keyboard.
What do you mean?
Shift S and Shift L.
Yeah, but there's a shift on each.
No, I know. The letters. The S is on one side, and then the L is on the other.
Yes, but like this is what I'm doing,
Do you
right?
use one hand?
No, I use two hands. I got two hands, bro.
No, I know, but one is for the mouse, no? Or you just everything on the keyboard?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm in. Boom. Like, I'm operating right here. Yeah, and then sure enough, I'm in on that one. So that's how I.
Very difficult for me, dude, because I like using the number pad because I'm
horrible.
resizing. I'm typing in numbers.
At the number pad.
Oh no, dude, no. You got to be able to type these numbers without looking.
But you just asked me about using the mouse. So how are you going to use the mouse and the number? But you use your left hand on that?
So it's right here, right? So look. If I can get I'm gonna pull this into the screen right here. So my mouse is usually right here.
Yeah.
So I don't need to. Travel time of the hand matters a lot to me, especially when I'm moving fast, right?
Yeah.
So right here, boom, number pad, right here, everything.
Yeah.
Tilde, resize, whatever. Okay. And all my entries and exits are right here. Okay. It will make you faster. Trust me.
What do you mean? I can just go like this. Shift L. I don't want to punch into anything. Shift S.
You know what I mean? But like even this, that's so much movement. That's room for mistakes, dude.
Okay, you're not wrong.
I'm just saying. For me, that's a hard feat for me. All my buys and sells are all right here. And I have Insta keys as well back at the desk where I just need to press one key and I'm in or I'm out. Like,
are you WASD?
No, I'm not. No, not WASD. Not here. Not for this game. But I think I use my F keys and I use my shift and controls and my alts as well. But my entries, exits, and stops are all with the left hand, man. Yeah, right. No, that's surprising.
I've always had it like that.
Everybody's a little different.
Man.
But I'm just saying, how can I optimize myself to be the fastest on the keyboard? I'm just like everything on the left.
The thing is, though, like when I see something happening, the chances are I have a little bit more than a millisecond because I'm preparing, I'm ready, I have my order in, so it's just a matter of hitting enter at that point.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
But even then, hitting the enter, that's why I have the Insta keys, because I'm like, by the time I type stuff I have a default, right? Default size setting. If I just hit F1,
it goes in automatically.
I'm in.
Okay, yeah.
I don't need this, because like if I see it, I want to reduce the time from my eyes going down my spine, the signal to my arm, and pressing the keys. Because guess what? The algos are faster than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like your F1 Insta there. F1 is my sell, and F2, and I use my stops. F3 is going to be a buyback as well. So yeah, I mean, to each their own, man. I've always had that. I kept it super simplistic. Shift S, Shift L has my fixed amount of shares in, my standard, I guess we should say, and then sure enough, we take it from there. Gaming mouse. Yeah. No, Machiavelli, it's true. I know a lot of people have their mouse. I highly doubt that you can do that here on Pro.
Chris is like, just set up a foot pedal for your buy and hockey.
Yeah.
No, I know some people who trade with a controller.
Dude, the mouse. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can have the mouse that has multiple buttons.
Keys on the
right?
side.
Yeah. But no, the
keyboard, definitely keyboard warrior here. I'm just like boom.
Yeah, by all means, man.
I'm telling you that those typing classes. They come in handy, man. They come in so handy. But yeah, thanks to my grade 5 teacher. I forget what her name was, but yeah, she was very adamant about everyone needs to learn how to type and type fast and accurately. And yeah, here we are. But you know what? My keyboard game definitely got much faster with gaming.
Gaming,
right?
Yeah.
That WASD, yeah, man.
WASD, yeah. That's the thing. When I started PC gaming, I was a little bit too late for me because I was a beast when it came to Call of Duty on the controller.
Yeah, see, I was the opposite, dude.
Yeah,
recently when I started playing Rocket League, I was not used to a controller at all. I was very much a PC gamer, and I was like, I know Rocket League is not a game to be played on KBM, like keyboard and mouse. Like it's very clunky on KBM. You're moving in all 4 dimensions, all 3 dimensions, the 4th one as well, but. The joystick is much better. I had a huge learning curve for the controller.
For going to the controller?
for going to the controller because I wasn't crisp on the controller.
Everything was right there. Watch out. I used to be a monster in Call of Duty. My KD was never, I mean, I was...
But here's the thing. Okay, professional gamers, keyboard versus controller, you're not, like, there's going to be not much of a difference. But just regular gamers, like, if I were to face somebody on an FPS using my keyboard and mouse, best believe I am clocking anybody on a controller. Controllers have aim assist for that reason, right?
No, but it doesn't work even when you're online.
If you're playing Call of Duty, a guy with keyboard and mouse is not going to slap someone with a controller unless they're amazing with a controller.
That's the thing.
Right?
In like games like Fortnite, I'm pretty sure the advantage would become to keyboard and mouse.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because you see those dudes doing that crazy stuff, and I'm like, what is going on here? This person's clearly on PC. But yeah, as for Call of Duty, I think it might be a little bit of a mixed bag. I don't know. I think it was a little bit past my time when PC really came into the online world in Call of Duty. Yeah. But yeah, I was a force to be reckoned with in COD. Just the controller and everything like that and glued in. So.
What was your main console?
I was in my earlier days. I was an Xbox guy.
Yeah.
And then
what was your Xbox had some amazing exclusives.
Yeah. It was the like
Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Gears of War was sick. I never had an Xbox. I would always go over to my friend's house to play Gears of War.
Yeah. Gears of War. Yeah. And Halo it had there.
Halo
I mean, Fusion Frenzy for those who know what that game was. Yeah, Fusion Frenzy was an ultimate game. But other than that, I was a COD guy, and then around PS3 is when I kind of moved over to PS4. I had PS4 for like a decade. I still have it, to be honest with you, somewhere in my grandma's house, collecting dust. But yeah, PC.
Yeah, I used to play this game called. So this game really upped my keyboard speed. A game called Guns Online.
Guns Online.
So there were mechanics with a Z. Wow. With a Z. G-U-N-Z. So Guns Online, if you guys know what that game was, and if you guys know what case styling was, man, these Korean gamers, they are absolutely next level.
Next world.
Next level. So they made this kind of mechanic very popular in that game where you'd have to switch between your weapons, like sword to shotgun or whatever, and then switch real fast because you can block shots with your sword. And then if you knew how to case style, and that was like flurry on the keyboard.
What is case style?
So it's just like it's just switching between your items, and then slicing and shooting in between at the same time as well. So you had to be really fast on the keys to learn that. And I would spend hours and hours just learning the mechanics. Oh yeah. Especially on my left hand, that WASD for sure.
WASD really, it wasn't even fun. I lost all fun. Look, OB. BX is right back to its high.
Great reasons to buy down.
Yeah, exactly. Man, oh man, if only we held this a little bit longer. I mean, it came back to our break even, but not even close to our stop out of 150. This is a wick that wasn't genuine. This is just a dark pool wick here, but bouncing off of 151 on multiple occasions, 151 rum on multiple occasions, now climbing up to 156.37. And we talked about 155s being in the works as well too. So a nice recovery there in BX, but that's now gone. I don't know how much higher it's going to climb. You are heading right back towards that volatility spike low. And if it breaks through that, maybe you get a little bit more of a recovery here on the intraday session. Silver looks like it might find somewhat of a bottom here around the volume weighted average price and indecision print right at VWAP. I'm heading back to AAL to see what that one has been up to. We're on the 1 minute time frame here, guys. So let's run through our scans one more time. We'll go from top to bottom, and then we'll see what Obi's up to and see. Are you in anything right now, Obi?
Yeah, I'm in some Palantir and some.
Okay, all right. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, so Palantir, again, I'm not expecting it to be clean. I got that flush break of this consolidation, but it's pulling right back up now, up into this prior structure. So now I want to see if this structure holds as a bit of resistance, or do we make a lower high? Because trend technically has been at least broken or slowed down, right? We talked about active versus passive. I don't know if this is passive just yet, but I'm waiting and watching. The market tailwind definitely on our side. We looked up what some of the betas for these names were earlier, and then IWM did not get a chance to add on this 255.80 breakdown. That was pretty clean. That held all the way from 12.12 to about 12.46, so about a 30-minute hold of that level. Multiple tests just cannot get through that, and then we crack through that, and then we crack through this prior low as well, 255.70s, and we get that turn on the market at the same time. So a lot of confluence for that short. Definitely my mistake not having, sometimes I should just have like orders in, scripts in to take these breakdowns, especially if I'm looking at multiple things at the same time. I think that's really important. Again, something maybe for 2026 to be like, okay, get comfortable having orders in the market at areas that are kind of interesting to you, especially if I'm already in position. So that's what I'm kind of maybe thinking about there, because it's enough is enough. I'm just like, how many times have I been in position, I look away from a stock, and it's doing exactly what I'm looking for, and it's breaking structure, and there's other trades within the trade within the trade of the breakdown, and I'm not involved in those either. So it's just like, am I really exercising my abilities to the best? Absolutely not. So maybe a little bit of a percent better for tomorrow can be, just have a feeler, have a little, maybe not a feeler, but have a small percentage of your total position to add on into those structure breaks. So we'll see if Palantir kind of comes back in here. We are taking a little bit of a bounce or slow down here on the IWM at the same time. And if Palantir, if the buyers want to step back up on Palantir, so be it. I do want to be nimble and kind of step out of the way. Maybe find better prices higher to get back in as well. So what was I looking at here? Palantir, we put on the moving average earlier as well, but you know what? I don't always use moving averages. I like trend lines a little bit better, but again, to each their own, it doesn't really matter. What are you using to define trend? That's kind of the gist there as well. So we had some trend here, the breakout of this level here as well. So if you want to be like, okay, I only want to anchor points to moments and areas of significance, then I'll be like, okay, fine, let's start the trend on the first pullback after the breakout actually happens. And that's the trend that we got after the breakout. And you can see here that broke down as well. So multiple indicators kind of showing that, yeah, the trend, even if not, well, if broken on a shorter time frame, but bigger time frame, even if not broken, definitely the buyers are starting to slow down here. So let's see if we can get a bit of a reversion back in towards some sort of a mean. And the market tailwind is definitely helping us out at the same time. So let's take a quick look. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what Palantir's beta is. And I don't know it's above 1, but it could be, yeah, there you go, 1.6 I'm seeing here on FinViz. Now, depending on your source, it could be a little bit different, but that's all I need. I just need to know where, in and around the area where it's at, to just get a gist of like, okay, are we really going to be following alongside the market? How much of a chip chop are we going to have relative to the market, and so forth. So RKT was another name that was moving on that news there. IWM, I've already covered a decent chunk there, so I'm not really, oh boy, I'm not really too worried about that one. Let me pull this back up here. Let's put this back into place. All right, so RKT, let's take a look at how that's doing. Again, it looked good for a continuation. Now, this could just be a multi-day move, multi-day trade at the same time, right? Wow, Palantir really getting slammed in. So, yeah, I like the ad up here. Definitely could have added some more. But again, talk about distracted trading. I'm looking at 10 different things at the same time. Definitely need some assists that can trade for me here. We got a super chat apparently. Let's take a look at this. JHN Ranch TX. Cheers to y'all from Texas. I was gonna say the TX in the name is definitely suggestive. Beers on me. Thank you very much for the super chat. Respect. All right, so Yeah, shout out to Texas, man. I heard the taxes there are absolutely
Nice.
solid. One of the many choices that I have for potential end game places to live. But you know, we'll find out. Absolutely beautiful place. I have a few relatives that live down there as well, and they do say that everything in Texas is a little bit bigger.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all your exes live in Texas.
Well, maybe some of them. I don't know. I have no idea. But there's that Palantir swept back down. Let's see if we can get through 185s with some distinction. If we're looking at prior structure, that structure just chopped around 185. I see the lows maybe at 184 halves. So if we're actually breaking below prior structures here and the trend is done, I'm looking for that 184 halves to come in with some sort of a distinction. But 185 is on the way as well. So let's see if that will come in. But yeah, other than that, don't have really anything on watch there, Joe.
No. All right, cool. Yeah, whenever I don't. Sorry, repeat that one more time to me there. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, whenever we're ready there. I'm going across the board here once again. SMR putting in a little bit of a signal, guys. I'm just scanning through, looking for some names at around the lows that we can take a potential long here. That's my second missed opportunity here on SLV. Take a look at this, guys, on the 5-minute time frame. Indecision print holding up relatively well, regardless of if it makes a new high of the day or not. That is a good signal. That trend is holding up to a T, and those are some of the things that we want to keep an eye out for. Uber still performing relatively well. As it's coming back in, but a nice rebound and definitely our better trade here on the day. I mean, if it works one for us, maybe we wait for an additional pullback, a hold of a key resistance zone, and then we can take it to a little bit move higher. But the one thing that just really put us in the dumps for a little bit before this BX trade came up was Intel, as it's starting to find a base around 42.60. I think I seen Katina Man in the chat saying that he was long Intel or short Intel. Okay, so right on. We tried a couple longs there on it, Katina Man. Didn't work out for us, but we got out when we were supposed to. So we did take those hits, but nothing to be worried about whatsoever. Plenty of time left throughout the day, and I have the utmost confidence in myself in order to get a rebound here and just find that one trade. That's all we really need, guys. But Eminent Gold, TSX, EMNT continues hitting Oxide Gold on its 100% owned district scale Hot Springs Range project. Latest result, 9.2 meters at 3.2 GT, the best yet, with gold intercepts in every tested structure to date. Definitely one to watch. Learn more in the news section at eminentgoldcorp.com about their exciting new find. There it is, Adara, also bringing us that interview here today as well, guys. Back into this market. You're still short Palantir.
Of course,
that's
no reason
working.
to buy right
no reason to buy back. Obi says
see.
right now.
I want to see it break below this 185 with some distinction. The market, the ES is coming in, so that's definitely helping us. So I should be in other shorts as well. So I'm just thinking like, what? Okay, TQ's looking nice. TQ's short, obviously. Like I'm basing some of my trades off the futures. Another goal for 2026 is just take some of those futures trades, dude.
With the Nasdaq?
Yeah, just like price action. Well, I don't know about the Nasdaq just yet. We can take some minis as well, but just just getting involved with the TQs and the SPY at the same time, right? So it doesn't always work nicely, but when it does, you get a little bit of FOMO and like, yeah, why am I not continuing to be and stay involved here? But it's okay. We take the constituents. We take some of the other stocks as well, so that's fine. Don't really. I'm not really fretting too much on that. Apple, okay, hello Apple, coming into day lows breakdown, AAPL, so that might send the market for a little bit more of a sell-off right there. 260.90 is the day low, but guess what? We've been stuck in this range since the open here. So Apple just knocking around in just a couple bucks here. It's 262, 69s, 263s-ish, and then to the lows there, 261, 20s, 260s, 261s-ish. So let's see. We're at the bottom of the range. The market is looking distinctly different than it was for the past few hours, especially here on the Nasdaq. Is this breakdown of Apple going to bring it in? That's what I'm asking here as well. But guess what? There are some stocks that are looking distinctly different. You don't need to look any further then goggles here as Google pushes up to 322.29s, which is the high a day. 321.60 is currently trading and holding above some prior structure as of right now with the most recent bid coming in. So going to be patient. Let's see. Let's wait and watch. Again, Palantir, I don't expect it to be clean. I don't expect it to be, really forgiving, but I expect it to be choppy, if anything. That 185 so far has held, and we're getting that swipe right back up, 50 penny pop after a drop down to, what was that low? 185.03s. All right, cool. This was that prior structure, so I do expect a little bit of turbulence whenever prior structures come in. And if the market decides to make a higher low here on top of its prior structure, a little bit of a 15-minute kind of chop right there and catch a bit of a bounce here, you know what? More than willing to be wrong on these trades here. IWM, you know what? I'm just going to, thank you. I'm done with that one. If we're going to kind of base around 255s, it's slowed down. Here's the thing. It's slowing down at a place, let's go to a higher time frame. It's slowing down at a place where this chop and consolidation was before. 254.70s is the low, that kind of range consolidation that was there. I was looking for it to come right into there. I might be too early, but you know what? Just taking into that prior structure, I'm more than okay with that. Like I said before, only had really a breadcrumb left a bit of a runner. If we're going to hold that with some chop and distinction, I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. I'm done with this for now. Where is the next trade? And Google, wow, just now, as I mentioned that, just slaps through that prior day high right there. So I literally just mentioned this a couple minutes ago, and Google breaking out with some volume, the highest volume candle I'm seeing here on the day, rivaling that of the opening candle as well. Yes, Google high day breakout happening as we speak. I was just like, yeah, this one's distinctly different. Market takes a little bit of a bounce and then swipe right back up. I just forgot, I was involved in Google this morning with that, what do you call it? With this kind of pop and drop right here. Very, very strong off of the open. I was like, where are you running? Why are you running? When we false break the highs, I get right back into the short I got into earlier right here and take it down into VWAP. And I'm like, all right, that's all I really want. Could it have gone further? Yes, but the market was very strong, so I had to respect that a little bit. And guess what? That respect was definitely worth having because VWAP held all day long. We held prior structure, and now we're back up at the highs. So Google's strength, very, very obvious really strong, on the day, distinctly different. Another name that is very strong as well is Amazon. No real selling here. Maybe this one, I know I missed this one here, 245 kind of area reject, didn't quite get up to 245, but that aggressive bid kind of stopped, and we pulled all the way back down to VWAP. VWAP seems to be the place to buy here on Amazon. A bit of a prime deal happening at VWAP there all day long, and for the past few days as well. That bid has been very, very aggressive, and maybe the beginning of the year, people may be positioning in. I don't know, just a guess, but the buying is very distinct.
I'd like to think so. I think Amazon can be a potentially good buy. Yeah, there must be something going on with Google here, guys. Up to 323. I know Sean was saying, tell me to hit the 316 earlier this morning. Now we're climbing up to 323 with the volume stepping in. As Obi mentioned, that's going to be one of the largest 5-minute prints here. And look at the engulfing print that it's really starting to form. So a big time move there in Google as it's continuing to climb a little bit higher. What's our ATH on this bad boy? On GOOGL. And then going back to this choppiness here, we're in on Uber for one more time. I mean, it worked really well for us earlier in the day. Let's see if this low can hold up or it wants to break down a little bit lower. So yeah, Google, this is on a daily and it's up to 328. So we're still a couple of points off of that, but I mean, Google can clear that in a matter of a day or two. Nice selling there on Uber as it's not trying to find a bottom. I like the indecision print that we're in. We've seen multiple across the 1-minute time frame, and we're going to look for that to hold up. Every day I have to reset this. I don't know why. Hangry Wife, I don't know what. It's something. It has its different bugs. It's like it will clear one, and then something else will come into play here on this old platform here. Not the one that we're currently trading on, but the one that Hangry Wife and I use on the side. So yeah, there it is, a nice little pop in Google. Let's see if this move is going to be sustained. I think with that 5-minute volume, your chances are looking pretty good in my opinion. Let's head over to the 1 minute and see what we got going on. Steady up and to the right. All right, we're almost at a 1-to-1 here on Uber. Let's see if we can print 78. The volume weighted average price would be prime time if we were fortunate enough to get that. But once again, the defense stepping in. So we print 78. Oops. We were printing 77 there, and then sure enough, look at these getting filled 10 cents lower. Look at our bid, only 3 cents. So interesting stuff here. Let's see if this NYSE name can come into play for us. Don't want to take anything out too early, even though we're nicely ITM, considering our risk profile is extremely tight. If we take some off, that's just more breathing room, and then boom, just clean flushes to the downside. Man, what's up with that stuff? Let's get our filter on here as well to see what we can get going on. I just don't want to take out a trade that could potentially work for us really well too early, but that's not a good signal here on the 1 minute. So you can see we push all the way up to 77. A prior resistance zone that can act as potential support is right at 83. I think that could be a good potential target for us, especially as long as we hold up this low. So going back to the names that have been working for us, if not, we'll take a hit and we'll be exactly where we finished off after those INTC hits. But Uber's been our number one trader on the day, and then a nice little move on BX as well. So nice pop. Let's go. Let's see if this movement 73. We're printing 75s now, OB. Let's see if we can get up into 78s, 77s. All right, getting a little bit more strength in there. Exactly what we want to see. 80s would be absolute Deion Sanders right there, prime time. So we'll be patient and wait for those levels to come into play. 83 might even be in the works as well. So TQs holding up, silver starting to come back into the volume weighted average price, and Google continuing its climb higher, brother.
I think we got some super chats that we missed, man. Yeah, you want to take?
I didn't see. Oh, okay,
if you go
yeah.
under fan funding there.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah. Let's go back and forth there.
For sure.
So first, Patrick J. Deval asking, Obi, Joe, what's your full year prediction on Tesla? So what do you think, man? What do you think about Tesla? Full year prediction? And listen, I don't do that, but we can take a look at some higher time frame charts.
Aside from the technicals, I think the steady progression in AVs is going to continue. That potentially, if Elon continues to expand his geofence, it can send this stock definitely to unprecedented levels, which I think that's kind of the goal of this thing, considering Cathie Wood has like a $4,000 price target on this. If Elon Musk wants to hit his his $1 trillion pay package, I think some key milestones are going to have to be hit. And each year counts, right? So they got some hefty competition with Waymo, but from a production capability standpoint, I think Tesla's going to be able to dominate the space. And then sure enough, we have robotics, competition stepping in that space as well too. But Tesla is positioned relatively well, and I like its chances to continue to climb higher.
Yeah, for sure. So I think, I don't know too much about the fundamentals. I like the chart. I like the stock. And I like what the man's doing. Also, Jensen recently said he's got the best stack. And he stays stacking. So, I don't know. If we're going to go forward, again, there's a lot of, XAI is a very interesting LLM. I don't even know if we can call these LLMs anymore. But, it's a very, very interesting progress that they've been having. And yeah, the man has some of the best tech in the industry when it comes to those stacks. So, and being acknowledged by the man himself, Jensen Huang. I think that just goes to show we'll see that one. And thank you, Adam James abroad. Respect for Obi. Man wants of China. I don't know about. Let's not call it that. But I think there's a lot of places around the world where my dollar is worth a lot more. So I think that definitely crosses the mind.
I can tell you where it's not really worth that much more, Obi. That is Tulum, Mexico.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's a discrepancy. I mean, that's why a lot of traders go to Bali. Live in Bali. And stuff
I heard it's pretty cheap over there. Oh wow, let's go.
the dollar is spent much better, right? In some of those places. But yeah, no. And then Adam James again, SoFi quietly green dip by gifts. All right, so let's take a quick look at SoFi at the same time here. So SoFi, what are you up to? We'll take a look at the higher time frame on Tesla as well. Wow, okay, yeah, dip buys would have definitely worked on today and yesterday as well. We dropped all the way to 26s. What is this thing looking like on a higher time frame? That's what I'm asking. We'll go to an hourly here, take that VWAP out of the way. Okay, yeah, dip buys have been working pretty decently on this one. 25 is holding, 26 is holding. We'll take a look at Tesla right after.
Adam James. Adam James
Europe.
is low-key a Canadian, so don't let him get it twisted. Yeah. All right. Beautiful move there in Uber. I mean, we were in at 68s. We waited before we took anything out at a 1-to-1 at 78s right there, and then now we climb up to 90s. So yeah, a nice move, a 2-to-1 there on Uber, still sitting on 40% of our position, going back to the name that's worked best for us today, and we're going to continue to rock and roll. But Adara, what do you got for us?
What I have for you guys here is the second of 3 visuals for today's CES 2026 schedule. I had a lot of fun making these. You kind of read them like a film festival schedule where you've got like each, like horizontally, we're all in the same time graph, and then there's just different things happening at each time. Again, you can check this out on X at TTV Research. I will drop the link in our chat as well. So this will cover 2:30 p.m. Eastern all the way up to 5:40 p.m. Eastern. There is a third infographic, as I mentioned, I'll be releasing right before the close that covers the evening portion of these events. So again, this is in PST, so it's going to be 3 hours earlier their time. These times on this infographic are all in Eastern time. So again, this will be 2:30 to 5:40 p.m. Eastern. The one for this evening is going to be closer to like 5:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Back to Joe and Obi, or Joby, which is actually, fun fact, a company that will be at the CES today. Back to you.
Natalie asking me, Joe, what is the best book on trading I've ever read? I know, see, you're asking me. I know a popular one is Trading in the Zone. I read that. It's pretty good. The best one, probably Options Trading for Dummies. That's going to be probably the best one that I think that I've ever read. And Options Traders for Beginners by, I forget the publication. I always forget it. It's the same one, I think, as the For Dummies series, but that was actually like a good read in my opinion. I enjoyed it. For some may find it a little bit boring, but yeah, I think those are going to be probably my favorite trading books all around. How about you, Obi?
I would say, so I'm going through my, so I like to read books on my phone mainly, because on transit, that's the best I can do. But yeah, I would say the best books, if you're looking to get in and kind of get familiar with the game and how far you can potentially get, is straight up the Market Wizards books. I think the Market Wizards books, if you have not read them, I think they're very much worth a read. And it's just I guess like anecdotes and like stories of great traders, that of the current and of the past as well, to see how they thought. Shout out to the author, Jack Schwager. He's been doing this for many, many years and interviewing these great traders over time and really getting their perspective on the market. And it's interesting to see how these elite players sometimes have clashing perspectives of the market, but guess what? They all were great amongst themselves, right? Within themselves. So it's just like that perspective has been amazing. Now I know I have to read these books over and over again to really extract the value, but the Market Wizards books were great as well. And a few of them suggested to me over the past year as well. I really like. There was Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. I liked that one. The Gap in the Gain. That one was huge as well, The Gap in the Gain. Jose recommended to me The Way of the Turtle as well. I like that one a lot. Let's see, what else do I have on here? Those ones I would say, Market Wizards I would say are huge. I like, The Playbook is great as well. One Good Trade. I like The Playbook much better than One Good Trade.
How to day trade for a living.
That one's a classic as well, but it's just, that's just very like, it just touches the surface. It just touches the surface.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I want to know how elite traders think. I want to know how they trade. I want to know their thought process as well. And the playbook definitely had some of that, and the Market Wizards definitely, for sure, has a lot of that. So that's what my pick would be.
Yeah, I agree with you on that front, Obi. I mean, for me, I read countless books before I even started trading, and I ran through Simulator for months before I even touched a live key. All of that is thrown out the window as soon as you start putting real money on the table. It's a great base. It is. I suggest when you're first starting off, learn as much about the market.
If you know absolutely nothing, then it's a
great base. But then as soon as you step into the what is the where the gladiators fight? Yeah, the arena
into the
or the Coliseum.
As
soon as you step into that Coliseum, everything is out of the window. Yeah. I shouldn't say out the window, but your first time putting on those first real trades, it's like, oh, okay, well, everything I learned isn't really reflecting into this. But again, I talked about this before. It's just a matter of scenarios, in my opinion anyways. Again, this is just my opinion, is that the reason why the learning curve in trading, once again, my opinion, is so long is because you haven't been through enough scenarios. So like a year, even 2 years. I mean, some people say they catch it in that time, but you still haven't gone through market cycles or anything along those lines. So the more scenarios that you've been through, the more comfortable you're going to be within these markets, and that's when you really start to pick up on pattern recognition and everything. So thank you, Isber and URLE. All books are nonsense after you graduate to the level of Obi and Runway. Yeah, I mean, Fog of War is good. Strength and Honor, say the Spartans, exactly. I never paper traded. That's another thing. So I won't disagree with that whatsoever. It's the same thing. So like your paper trading, it's great. Like it's great to get a base, get your hotkeys under, so you're not just kind of giving money away. That's how I started, not with options trading. Like I just jumped in because I've been trading for a year plus at that time, but I lost money just on transactions. If you're comfortable with doing that, make sure you have yourself a platform where you can get the calculated fixed risk. That's what I used, hot buttons, hot keys. And those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. So if you know, you know. And it just helps a lot. But if you don't paper trade, it also kind of just eliminates a phase within your trading where it's like, okay, you've been paper trading for some time and then you got to transition into live. There is none. You just get more comfortable with live trading. And I think that's something, if I could rewind the clock, maybe I wouldn't have spent, even though I wasn't in there for that long, like 3 months, maybe 3-4 months I was sim trading, I would maybe like have eliminated that and then been risking like $2 or $3 a trade or something like that, just so you get a little bit more comfortable with it. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, you got to definitely put in the reps. Excuse me. And I even said it in the chat. I'm like, yeah, the most beneficial thing that you can do, and I've heard this since day one. The biggest thing is, yes, experience seat time. There's nothing that will beat seat time, and not just seat time. Meaningful review of that seat time as well, right? If you're not reviewing, you're not really getting better. You're just kind of maybe stagnant. So it is very important, I would say. And I've been told that, and I'm, as I sit here, gaining my own seat time as well, I'm understanding every single day how important it is to, go through the iterations, go through the reps, get slapped in the face, and feel how losers feel how winners feel, and really kind of get used to that. And it's something for this year as well. It's just like, I've been reading this thing where I think it was Soros. But it's just like most traders are going to lose, or they're only going to be right around just roughly about 50% of the time. What makes a difference is when you are right, are you pushing into that? Are you leaning into those trades that are working for you? That's going to make the difference, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong on the trade, and I've been saying this more often as well. It matters how much you lose when you're wrong and how much you win when you're right. So coming up with systems to mitigate losses, prevent tail risk, and then the wins, really getting aggressive on those and really sizing exponentially on the stuff that you're confident in as well, right? That's going to make the difference. We got a super chat here again from Adam James abroad. Thank you very much. Saying, being married to a Canadian doesn't count. In fairness, though, my Canadian wife is the most incredible person on earth. Love all of you guys, and now even Texas fanboy, oh boy, respect from Florida. Nice, yes, let's go. Florida, I love Florida as well, man. Florida's great, great weather. I think, I miss South Beach sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna
Oh
say.
yeah, you were there a couple of times.
A few times, yeah.
We'll go through some of the comments here. It'll be some good ones. Everybody participating. Obviously, we want to know everyone's opinion in 2 cents as well. So, paper trading makes you better at trading. Paper does not translate to trading. This is Carl Gruen. It's all about managing real risk. Buy one share, but don't paper trade. Yeah. Again, we touched on that. I agree with you.
Decision making, right?
Decision
It's all
making.
about decision.
Yeah. It's all about that. Who else do we got in the chat here? Curtis Cripps, experiencing the actual loss, learning what a loss actually is and when to take it, etc. The emotions, anxiety that you have to learn to control can't be replicated with paper. Absolutely. I think all of us agree on that front.
What was that?
They said the emotions and anxiety cannot be replicated in paper
Okay,
trading.
yeah, I mean.
What do you think, Adara?
May I weigh in on this debate?
Of course.
So as someone who traded sim for as in the ballpark of 8 months on the show, and that was my first experience, I think it's helpful, but I also think it depends on what your experience is going to be, right? I think learning to trade literally live on a show, you do not want to be throwing around real money. And I also think because I spent so long on the sim trying to get comfortable, I think I got a lot better sense of what type of trader I was when I started live, and B, I think, I don't know, I was just a lot more comfortable kind of taking those risks. And I think it depends on what type of person you are, because I take everything really seriously. I was also feeling the sim hits. So I think if you're worried about the emotional aspect, if you are the type of person where you're going to take everything like it's the real thing, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just wanted to weigh in as someone who has spent famously a lot of time in this.
I 100% agree with that.
But
dude.
now my question is to you, Adair. Hold on one second, Obi. So now with that experience and you obviously live trading, if you were to go into sim, do you think you'd feel the exact same way about those paper hits?
I mean, now maybe I think I'm stronger, but it's always hard to go back, right?
I mean, hindsight's
2020,
right?
which is better than my vision. But yeah, I mean, I think if I could go back, I think I'd probably, maybe I'd try to trade more different tickers, because I think the biggest reason that I say I trade spread is because I trade a lot of spread in the sim. But maybe I'd try some penny stocks in the sim. Maybe I'd try other different things, right? So I think my biggest advice is if you are going to try sim trading, try to, go to the whole buffet. Don't just, eat the steak and the eggs. Eat some of the potatoes and stuff too. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
That's great. That's great advice.
I agree. I mean, I don't think we would ever be like, no, don't do it. But just from my personal experience, maybe a little bit less time in it and just getting right into the nitty-gritty, especially if you've put yourself through an educational process. You ran through our lessons of the day. You read through X amount of books. You did all of this stuff, and then you learned how to set up your platform. Yeah. You know about your hotkeys. Nothing wrong with execution and just making sure that they work, right? You don't want to construct a new hotkey and then be punching in 1,000 shares live on your first day. That's not going to be a good time. That's a quick way to lose things. But at the end of the day, I think if you can reduce it a little bit and then get right into your live trading while using all your risk measures so you can feel all the emotions, it's going to help you. I mean, if you're thinking about the grand scheme of things, we talk about the learning curve being relatively long. What's a couple months in paper trading? In the picture, you know what I mean?
So yeah, for sure, man. I agree with that. I think another thing is to push the point that Adara was covering. It really depends on how seriously you take it.
Yeah.
More often than not, people act and feel differently when money is on the line, because guess what's on your mind? Money. But guess what? The best trading is done when you're only thinking about decision making. Your emotions are in control, regardless of what kind of, what doesn't matter if, whether you're right or wrong or whether money's on the line or not. It's all about decision making. When you come to that epiphany, when you realize it's just, can I make the best decisions? Then it doesn't matter. Whether you're making decisions in sim, whether you're making decisions real life, if you feel distinctly different when you're making them in live, that doesn't say anything about where you're trading. That says something more about your mindset and your perspective. And that definitely needs to be skewed, needs to be changed. Trust me, I've seen a lot of traders come and go through this floor. Perspective and mindset was absolutely key. It's absolutely huge, right? You have to have an almost, uncanny, ridiculous belief in yourself. That's the first one, right?
Delusional belief.
Exactly. You have to be almost delusional. That's the level of belief that you have to do well. And secondly, yes, everything is based off of decisions. So it doesn't matter, you know, how much money is on the line. Can you first, but eventually, sure, it does. Once you're there, yes, you want to think about like how much am I sizing, how much like risk opportunity, but that all comes later. Can you make the right decisions at the right time first? Then we can talk about sizing. Then we can talk about putting real risk on. Then we can talk about anything and everything else. Yeah. But that's the first step. And that's the step that fumbles most people, because emotional regulation and emotional control, forget about trading. That's just a human thing, and you have to be able to surpass and overcome that. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, that's it, man. But mic drop, that's it. All right, that's all we said. How many, did we gain any more? All right, guys, 4,200 of you watching. We had a lot of fun with that talk, just getting into a little bit of psychology. I see Neil and Machiavelli talking a little bit about it. Some people say that some of the fundamental pillars here of trading is your technology, your psychology being one of them, and then obviously your education, really important. So psychology is massive. You got to continuously break down hurdles and be prepared to get knocked down on multiple occasions and get back up, right? A bad day is only 24 hours, and good thing about the market's less than that because it closes at 4 o'clock. All right, Timothy Leary, set and setting. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I just looked that up.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, no.
Is that a book?
Refers to the mindset and environment that significantly influences the effects of psychedelic experiences, a concept popularized by Timothy Leary in the 1960s. So, okay, let's go through this. All right. So the definition of what he means, thank you very much for the super chat. The definition of set, this term refers to the individual's internal state, including their thoughts, emotions, expectations, and overall mental health at the time of the psychedelic experience. A positive mindset can lead to a more enjoyable experience, while anxiety and negative emotions can result in a challenging trip. Setting, the definition of setting, this encompasses the physical and social environment in which the experience takes place. Factors such as the location, the people present, overall atmosphere can greatly affect the outcome of the experience. A safe and comfortable setting is more likely to yield positive results, while an uncomfortable or chaotic environment can lead to distressing experiences. 100%, dude, 100%. I agree with that 100%. Right? Forget about, like, I know a lot of people might have something to say about psychedelic experiences. Forget about it. This life is a psychedelic experience if you really think about it, right?
Yeah.
So if you, perspective is everything. So yeah, set and setting, thank you very much for that. Yeah. I will look more into this as well. But yeah, mindset and environment, I think that's what it's talking about.
I'll be honest with you, the best trader I know, and I've seen personally trade microdoses while he's trading.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and Adara, you might like this one. I know you like this individual. Timmy C said this in an interview, and I find it very interesting. He said, you can be the captain of your own ship once you realize that life is coming from you, not at you.
I love that. Timmy C is a genius, and he might get his Oscar this year. So go Timmy C, and shout out to his co-star in that movie, Kevin O'Leary.
Oh yeah. His best movie is Bones and All. I love Dune, but Bones and All is one of my favorites.
Still have to watch the second one. I haven't seen the second part 2. Yeah. It's on my watch list.
I think his name Austin Butler or whatever. Yeah, I like him. I like him in that one. He's pretty sick. All right, guys. Let's get right back into these markets. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Is it brilliant to listen to as well? Yeah, a lot going on. Someone said to peyote. I highly doubt that that's going to work. But no, in all seriousness, guys, a really nice move in Uber. Going back to the names that have been working best for us today. I have 20% remaining, looking for a little bit more continuation. We were piecing it out as we go and continue to climb a little bit higher. So we did end up hitting approximately, not with full size, obviously a 3-to-1. As you can see, we're in at 68. It did climb up to there, but we didn't get out. I have to be prepared to get out of this trade here at 72. So just at the click of a button, as soon as we come back into my entry price, you can see that we're printing 72s. So we're looking for a bounce, but it's not. If we head over to the 5-minute into the 1-minute here, it's not looking overly promising, so I'm prepared to get out 71s. You're getting that curl over, but this is where I am, and then we could just scalp off of that, basing it essentially off of 10 cents worth of risk, and then sure enough, getting a nice move to the top side there. So I eliminated, I told you guys 80%, now I'm down to 50% of my shutdown. So that was a beautiful move, and one more trade. We're gonna send things back to Greensville, Ontario, and then sure enough, we're going to continue to rock and roll because we still have multiple hours. But with only 1 minute left, guys, we haven't done this yet. Make sure you get those tickers in $, and then the name that you want to talk about. Obi, do you know what you're going to put in there? I know what I'm going to put in there because it's been phenomenal for us. Uber. It's going to be at the top of my list here, guys. Make sure you get those $signs in. It's been a fantastic session so far. Obi's been putting on some bangers. INTC being my only loss and my largest loss here today. Trading 3 names, Uber, INTC, and BX. So if we had the eliminate and we didn't get as aggressive as I did on INTC, then we would have a really, really good day. But once again, just having a lot of faith in myself to be able to climb back and head things back to Greensboro. But we don't want to force anything. It is now 2 o'clock, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Finish it off.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Trade safe. And send it over to the big boys. Take it easy.
Sirs.